Yo, what is good, everybody? I'm tired, everybody. I'm just so tired. I'm so beaten down. I'm so beaten down. Yo, what's good, Greg? What's up, Adam? Look at Adam driving in the dagger. It's been rough, man. I'm so genuinely sad right now. Okay. Grandpa is in bed now, so I gotta do it. It's okay. You know what? I deserve it. I should have planned for this better. You know what? I gotta see if Sydney's still ready. I gotta see, because you know what? Oh wait, the bots can come back. Let's go! No bots! That's what we like to. Oh, she is ready. Oh, perfect. Yes. All right. Yeah, sorry for being 100% late. Yeah, I'll just tell the quick story real quick. Yeah, so basically I got a new monitor. Oh my goodness. It was gonna be so sick. I was like, yeah, I got it like an hour before stream started. And I was like, cool. So I finished eating about 5:15. I was like, let me go ahead and put this together. It's gonna be great. So I literally spent like 15-30 minutes moving everything on my desk, getting everything where it needs to be, switching cables around. It was sick. Yeah, 5:15 dinner. What? Of course. What do you mean? And everything was great. It was fantastic until I plugged in the new monitor and it didn't work. So I said, that's strange. Why is my monitor working? So I sit down and fiddle with it, and I was like, oh, it might be the cable that I bought for it. Maybe that's the issue. Nope. Just was not working. So I spent about 20 to 30 minutes. Yo, what's good, Tiff? 20 to 30 minutes looking up troubleshooting. This was the technical difficulties. And then eventually I called support, spent some time with them, only for them to eventually just tell me, I said, yeah, I plugged in the monitor. I swapped the display cables. It works a little bit with HDMI, but it doesn't really work at all. Afterward, for a few seconds, he was like, huh. Yeah, so it's probably a display port on the back. You just got to return it. And I was like, all right. Oh, yeah, Tip, basically, I bought a new monitor. I spent 20-30 minutes looking up troubleshooting, only to call support, only for them to tell me, yeah, that's just, it just doesn't work. So I said, okay. And I was so angry. I could have just set it aside, but I immediately packed it all back up in the box very meticulously, got the return ready, and it's now sitting in my room downstairs as I am just an angry boy right now. I'm just an angry boy. This monitor is not cheap. Okay, when I get these monitors, I expect them to work out the box immediately. So all that to say is it's getting returned tomorrow. At not the idea, but at the request of the manufacturer. So yeah. So that's what I was doing, and that's why I'm tired. But you know what I'm not tired for? I'm absolutely not tired to do a tier list today. Isn't that right, Sydney?
Transition won't be nearly as smooth if my audio doesn't work.
Okay, say words again.
Damn, I had a comeback.
All right, great. Okay, it's working now. I think it was just on my end. It was like echoey, but I think that was because I had a setting somewhere. So sad, Sydney. I'm just so sad.
That's okay. I'm also very tired. Adam had jury duty today, so we were up bright and
Ooh,
early.
Ooh, jury duty. Hopefully you guys got a crazy murder case and Adam was the deciding factor.
No, no such thing happened. I was
Dang.
just up early and hung out in the car all day.
Well, all right. Well, that's an adventure. I've never been to jury duty. I almost got jury duty one time, but it was what? It was for like Oklahoma, but I was in Boston, so I was like, or it was either the other way around. But I was like, hey, I'm not there. They're like, okay, and then I didn't have to go, and it was sick. What? They were to keep you for 13 weeks? What? Wait, what does that mean? Like during work hours? Yo, that's crazy. I would actually love to do that, honestly. I've been summoned twice for jury duty. Literally could not be me. Sydney, have you ever had to be summoned for jury duty?
I got summoned once where I showed up. It was actually my junior year at Suffolk, and I was at Suffolk Superior Court, so I just went back to the room afterwards. I got dismissed right before lunch.
You're just
And
like,
the
all right,
other
I guess I'll just go
time,
back to the room.
I called and they'd canceled it the night before.
All right, that's pretty easy. Howard said he got something twice. That's garbage. Adam, he did get something serious. Oof. But they pay you? Oh, I didn't know they pay you. Yo, I'm trying to get jury duty.
They pay you like a very, very small amount of money.
Well, hey, but then I get to get out of work, right?
You do get to
And
get out
then
of work.
that's pretty sick. Meanwhile, my dad has been summoned what? Oof. Oof. Oh man, Howard got shafted super hard.
My
Honestly.
grandmother was summoned once in her entire life.
How old is your grandma?
And, well, she didn't get summoned until she was out of the jury age pool.
She's like, I'm actually too
So,
old.
she never got summoned for jury duty, and then she got one in the mail. My mom was like, "You don't have to go. We can just call and tell them that you can't go."
Oh my god, that's actually like the luckiest thing, I guess. But
I've
yep,
been
I got
summoned
summoned once.
twice.
I've been summoned once, but I never had to go. So we're good.
You're not really
But you know
missing
what?
out.
I would imagine I'm not. But you know what I am missing out on? Talking about a tier list. Cause we got 2 movies today, which is shorter than usual. But the theme this week, Sydney, let them know what our theme was for this week.
I didn't have a theme. I was like, "Oh, what a cool idea. We'll end with the first movie and the last movie." And then it occurred to me that Encanto came out after this movie. And so
Wait,
that
did it?
doesn't work. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What? Oh no. Well, we messed up the theming, but that's a
I messed up
okay.
the theming. That's okay. Yeah,
With
they
this,
both
this
released
is
in 2021. And one was
ah,
in the
you
first
know,
half of the year and one was in the second half of the year. So I guess the
yes,
theme is uh oh,
2021.
strong women exploring newfound land.
I mean,
There we go.
yeah, you know what? We'll go with that one. Yeah, we'll go with that one. And you guys already know what our grading criteria is. Everybody here is well familiar with what we're doing today. All right. So, Sydney, do you want to just jump into it?
I would love to. I don't want to do that spiel. My throat hurts.
You know what? I figured you might not want to. I just had a thought in my head. So, Sydney, go ahead and give me your thoughts on the Little Mermaid characters.
Well, I wrote a ton for these two because I'm very passionate about The Little Mermaid. And
God.
that didn't used to be the case, but it certainly became the case um, in like the last year and a half. And the
The last
characters,
lyric. Okay.
the characters in The Little Mermaid they're interesting because most of them are not very fleshed out. However, they all work off of their central protagonist very well. And their central protagonist is Ariel. Every other character in this movie uh, directly affects her. And I think that's very interesting because it really drives home the fact that this is a Disney princess movie that is severely carried by its lead, which is not an issue. It's just a return to formula because that's how Disney first started out with simple princess fairy tales.
It's true. That's 100% true. Yeah, Ariel. Yeah, obviously the main centralizing character, along with what was his name? It was like John or something. I don't
What?
know his name. The main guy. What was his name? Eric. Oh, Eric. It was Eric. Yeah, my brain, it literally popped in my mind. Yeah, him. Eric. He was a driving force. Uh, let's see. Yeah, the king. Sebastian was big. Flounder. Yeah, he was there. But if I'm going into a little bit of depth on some of the characters, I like I liked Ariel for the most part. There's something about just doing completely reckless things for no reason, for seemingly no good reason. And it just it was very slightly off-putting. When Ariel was really out there trying to, go with the humans, trying to climb aboard the boat and stuff like that, signing her life over way to Ursula for this. I'm like, all right, I mean, come on. I mean, I understand, like, Trident was really, pushing her away and she really felt trapped and stuff. But man, that's just so reckless. Giving away your voice. There's something, it just seems so stupid. But she is a 16-year-old girl, and I guess 16-year-old girls do stupid things. I guess. So I guess I can look past a little bit of that. Still gets under my skin a little bit. She was very adventurous, and I do I do like that adventurous spirit. Although I do think she can take it a little bit far, getting her friend Flounder almost eaten, or herself almost eaten. She was literally anyway, she takes a little bit too far sometimes, what I'm trying to say. Flounder, he was just the voice of reason. He was alright. He was like a little brother type character. I don't really have too much to say about him except the fact that he's just a big old scaredy cat, but whatever. Sebastian, I didn't really mess with him early because he was like, oh yeah, you need to hunker down, Ariel. He was a super straight man, which is like not my type. But later on, he softened up, and I was like, all right, Sebastian, all right, you get into my skin. Yeah, I can't hate you with that accent. Also, he was a godlike composer. Literally can make any song at any point with no rehearsal. Actually, the GOAT. Triton. He was a very good father, and I could 100% see where he was coming from and why he was being so hard on Ariel. Now, do I think he took it a little too far when he started destroying all of her stuff? Absolutely. Should he have done that? No. But can I see where he was coming from? I kind of can, honestly. If you look at him throughout the whole movie, he was pretty consistent. He really loves his daughters. He was he's super straight, but not my type. Okay. Okay, Greg, that's out of context.
You're just giving him too much fuel tonight, Chris.
I know. Throughout the movie, he was very kind. He just wanted the best for his daughter, especially if humans, they're bad. So of course he wouldn't want his daughter to be, near the humans, whatever. It makes sense. Let's see. When he was initially talking to Ariel, when she was like, "Oh yeah, I was near the top," Triton was like, "Bro, I've told you about this. I'm trying to keep you safe. Like, do you understand what's up there? I know what's up there. I'm trying. Like, come on." No, he was not a bad dad. He was absolutely not a bad dad. Especially when he did at the end. No, he literally wasn't not. He was like, all right, I finally see the voice of reason. Like, I understand. I can truly see it. Eric is not a bad guy. These people are nice. I kind of understand. So he's like, yeah, I'll give my daughter away. That's whatever. So I 100. Yeah. I already said that, Greg. That's bad. That's literally 100% bad. I won't defend that. That's bad. But do I see where he was coming from? If he's trying to protect his daughter who keeps doing this, yeah. Could he have done it in better ways? Absolutely. Can I see where he's coming from? Yes. But not a bad dad. I can't say he's a bad dad, to be honest.
I don't think he's a bad dad, but he's also not a very good dad. He's an overbearing dad, which I know personally.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And,
overbearing.
You know, it's what happens when you wind up being a girl. You just get an overbearing father most of the time, who wants to protect you and he means well, but he comes off a little too strong.
That is 100% true. And also, I have a feeling Trident may have seen some of his homies die due to humans. That's just a theory though, because he's like, yo, humans are bad. And you know what? I kind of agree, to be honest. If she ran into the wrong people, it just doop doop doop. Rest in peace, Ariel. So you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say Trident was wrong, but he could have gone about it a lot better.
If we're interjecting with theories now, I can provide you that answer, Chris.
Wait, actually?
A couple of years ago, you know, Disney used to make their sequels, and they did. They made a sequel to The Little Mermaid. It was called The Little Mermaid 2. She had a daughter in that one. However, they also made a Little Mermaid prequel. And it's called,
I didn't know about that one.
Well, it's literally Footloose. It is a prequel to The Little Mermaid, in which Ariel and her sisters, they try to unban dancing and music in the kingdom, because Triton has banned music and dancing in the kingdom because his wife was distracted by a music box and was killed by sailors by being impaled by a ship.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's
But it's
horrible.
literally just Footloose.
Oh my god.
They have a speakeasy and everything where they dance and play music.
I've never seen Footloose, but I do know the general concept of Footloose.
That's all you really need to know. Dancing's illegal in this one county for some reason.
Oh my god.
Which is just a hilarious thing. Like, can you just ban something like that? Like, could you be like, oh, you know what? I hate the color orange. I ban all orange clothing in this 100-mile radius.
I mean, if you have the power, you can. Like, if you have the power, you can do anything, honestly.
I'd ban olives.
I would ban bananas. But yeah, so Triton, while overbearing, I do not think he was a bad dad. Everything he did, I think made sense, except destroying all of Ariel's stuff, of course. Definitely could have handled that a bit better. Although I can see where he was coming from.
The destruction of her things was definitely a misstep. His angle in it was, if I destroy her tether to the surface world, it will end. If she just doesn't see the curiosities and the oddities of this other world, she'll give up and be disinterested. What he actually did was he proved to her that he was not willing to hear out her wants and needs and her hopes and desires, destroyed any tether that she did have to that, and drove her further away from her identity as a mermaid by getting rid of the one thing that she did miss, that she would have missed in staying there, and that is her family. And that's why you don't be a shit to your kids.
Exactly. And that was his giant misstep. Like, oh yeah, that's where you messed up. That's where you messed up, honestly. Because if you didn't do that, I'm gonna keep it a ban. Ariel would have done the same thing, but she would have just done it less out of anger. Well, honestly, would she have done the same thing? Because she would have been in this distraught. She wouldn't have felt as compelled to go to Ursula. She probably, well, if she still saw Eric, she probably still would have. She definitely still would have saved him. She still might have, honestly. She still might have. Considering all the bad decisions she made that ended up working out, she probably would have done it anyway. But
What
yeah,
she would have done is left a passive-aggressive note to her father that said, "I'm going to Ursula," instead of doing it out of spite. She would have left that little nugget to be like, "If you actually care, father, this is what I'm doing," instead of just leaving out of spite.
yeah, you know what? She would have given that courtesy, I guess. Good thing she did just kind of leave, right? She was like, yeah, peace
She
out.
was
I'm just gonna
pissed.
I'm just gonna be on the surface, like, bye. Like, hey, yo.
I agree, Adam. Maybe he could have gone with her and been like, "Oh, it's this Ursula? No, no, Ariel. I'm sorry, we can't do this."
He knows. Well, I mean, she knows that Ursula's like, she knows Ursula's bad. She was like, oh, Ursula the witch? No, no, get away from me. But then she got hit by the allure and she was like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna do it. And you know what? I'm gonna keep it a band with Ursula real quick. Her terms and conditions were very, very clear in her song. Ariel knew what she was getting into, so I don't know why she would have been mad at Ursula in the first place. Like, Ursula did kind of cheat, but that's the game. If you're doing something sketchy, Ariel knew. Ariel knew. This is also why I think Ariel's dumb. Like, she heard Ursula in her song say like, yeah, you gotta give me your voice, and you know, if you don't do it by sundown, you're dead. And she was like, bet. I'm like, hey, yo, Ariel, come on now. But you know, whatever. It's all good. But all in all, I think the characters worked pretty well off of each other. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the seagull. I didn't care for the seagull. As a matter of fact, I hated the seagull. Just in general, he wasn't that big of a.
Because Scuttle has the exact same energy as Owl from Winnie the Pooh, but I think he's funny.
Oh, he does. He does. They're on this. You know what, Sydney? I would not have put that together. That's 100% true. I didn't like the owl either.
But it's because I like those characters. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. There's Try Guys video. We'll have to watch that later, Adam. They made a response.
Oh, to the cheating scandal?
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to watch that. I guess I'll have to watch that too. Literally, all Try had to do was bring Ariel with her some way.
Channel, Chris.
No, well, maybe in the future. Who knows? I might want to. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah. So overall, while I kind of wish the side characters would have had a better, would have had more to do with, like, the plot. I do recognize that it's mostly just about Ariel, so I'm fine with that. Also, Eric. Yeah, he was there. He was a guy that was there. I didn't really. He was a very nice guy. It's about all I got for him. He was what?
We can't fault a man for just being kind. There's so few of those.
Like, I'm not faulting him. I'm just like, you know, he didn't really add too much. He was kind of cool, I guess.
He did not take advantage of Ariel when she was unable to stand, wearing a sail, and unable to speak.
that oh my God, Sydney.
He saw a woman in distress and was like, I will help you.
Dang, you're actually right, yo. Eric, just a good guy. I think everybody worked pretty well together. I don't know if they were all spectacular. Would have liked to see more maybe from the side characters or whatever. So I'd say the characters overall probably about, I would say an 8. I would say a solid 8 for character. Well. Yeah.
8 is very solid.
Maybe a 5 actually. Just joking. Imagine. Yeah, because you know what? These characters, they did pretty well. Now if we're going on to the story, it's cute. It's a cute story. It's like, you know, the standard. This was like when Disney was just, you know, about to move out of like the very, very standard stuff. Like, obviously their stuff is pretty standard, but like this is like, I don't know, almost, I don't know, City. Give me a fairy tale that this is like.
The Little Mermaid, as made by Christian Andersen.
Exactly, that one. The Little Mermaid. But you know, it was It was good. It was good. I like, what do I like about this movie? I like that Ariel is very adventurous, and I like the idea of moving, to a different world because you're so infatuated by it. Obviously, I don't know about obviously, but I do have my problems with that because, like, when you're so deeply ingrained into like one culture, I feel like it should take a little bit more to move on to a completely different world. You were living under the sea. You barely know how to walk. To be honest, I don't know how you're gonna really survive and you know, in that environment. It's like if I moved from like Southeast Asia and I just moved to New York City. Maybe not New York City. Maybe California. I feel like that would be very drastic. And I don't think that's as easy. So for me, that's just you know not my vibe. But it's very adventurous. I do like it, but I don't know if I like it a lot. I don't know, Sydney. Go sway me on this story because right now I'm a bit iffy on it.
Well, this story, the idea of the Little Mermaid, um, it's very
You're making me to
important
weep.
to the LGBTQ plus community, because of the messaging of being able to literally change your circumstances and pining for a different world and perhaps different features in some cases. I know that this fairy tale resonates very strongly with the trans community and also with gay people in general. The composer for it, Howard Ashman, was gay. He's now passed. And this was a very important project to him for that reason, because this was a story that he felt very strongly connected to. At its base, The Little Mermaid is quite literally a mermaid who wants to be human and was willing to sacrifice whatever they can to achieve that wish. And so I think with that messaging, while very simple, you can put it into a lot of different perspectives because it is just pining and wanting something so incredibly desperately that you are willing to take sacrifices just so you can taste it, even for a tiny, tiny amount of time. It's like a story of infatuation to the point of desperation. And I think that that's really powerful and moving. And I think that's why I'm more willing to let Ariel kind of be like the star of this movie and have all the other characters react off of her. Because this is her independent story. As far as we know, she's the only mermaid who's dissatisfied with her life as a mermaid, so much so that she is willing to remove something that she personally feels very strong about and that other people in her life have told her that she's very talented about. They always say she's a beautiful singer. That's what Eric falls in love with. She is willing to throw away her best asset for just a chance at finding permanent happiness on land.
I feel like if we're talking about the context of the story, I don't know how much I would give credence to those points. Now, I feel like I would give more of that in the how did it age portion, because all of that sounds like, if we're looking at this in like, from a future lens, we're putting like the story in context with like, people looking back on it. I would put that in like a very good way for it to age because it sends out really good messaging. But if I'm thinking about like story wise, right? I don't know. It feels kind of I don't want to say generic. Generic's not the word. Slightly underwhelming to me.
I can get that. It's just one of those things that it was adapted from a fairy tale, and that is the fairy tale. Uh, when she becomes a human, it's very painful to walk. They describe it as walking on knives. And then in the end, in the original one, she doesn't fall in love with the prince, and the prince marries somebody else, and she becomes sea foam.
She she becomes sea foam. That's
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. She doesn't even go back to being a mermaid. She just turns into sea foam. Okay, that's wild. Uh it might be because of the source material and the way they adapted it, but I feel like this story is a 7. It just
Okay.
it doesn't hit, like the story doesn't make me want to like, rave and talk about it. I just like, yeah, it's a cute fairy tale movie. It has some positives, with its Disney flair, I guess, but I just feel like it's not too much to write home about story wise.
I can respect that. I think again it's just kind of the source material and Disney's padding with like the meet cute concept and kind of the side ramblings of the other characters in the middle.
That is true. Sebastian do be rambling. But what are you thinking though? Where would you put this score wise?
I would just do 1 point higher and do an 8, but that's me.
All right, in a, that's fine. It's not breaking the bank because I don't think it's like horrible or anything like that. But I could see an 8. You made a very passionate plea, and so I can see it and I can understand it. So yeah, an 8's fine. Music, Sydney, hit me with the music. What were your thoughts on the music?
Every song in this movie is beautiful, except for like
Everyone though.
one. Except for like
Okay.
one.
Okay.
I will say I wrote in my thing that I really liked how they kind of use Part of Your World as the base for the entire movie. Anytime there's
Yes.
a score, there's like a section of it and you're like, "Oh, it's Part of Your World." It's just like it's the fun like follow through song throughout the whole movie, and I think that's really it's just nice because it keeps it nice and cohesive, and it reminds you that once again we are dealing with the focal character of Ariel. This is her movie. This is her song. This is her soundtrack. It's all hers. She deserves everything in this film. But
I
standout tracks, most of them. uh, Part of Your World is one of my favorite Disney songs ever.
Of
Kiss the
course, it's
Girl is
literally a
fun.
classic. Oh, I
And
love that song.
also, Under the Sea, another very good
Mm-hmm.
one, also
Yup.
demonstrates the showmanship of the musical Disney movies at the formula at the time. Kind of reminiscent of the Be Our Guest segments and the Just Can't Wait to Be King, other things like that are bombastic and they involve like a chorus section and all the things are animated and moving in and throughout. It's just very stunning and visually appealing. And Poor Unfortunate Souls is a banger of a villain song. And I love how
Ooh, was it
dynamic and
though?
multi layered it is. Yes!
Was it though?
Yes!
Ooh,
And I'm
I don't know
so
about.
upset that it's going to be Melissa McCarthy singing that and not somebody else.
I don't know who that is.
Well, in the live action Disney movie, they cast Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, which is like the most depressing shit ever because it's
I
the
have
easy
no idea who
pick.
that is. Cool. I have no ties to this Melissa McCarthy. She'll probably do fine. Unfortunately, the song itself though, not a banger actually. Not a banger.
Is that your hot take?
I don't know if that's a hot. I feel like that shouldn't be a hot take.
That's my hot take.
It's like, so I will say like, what, I don't know, I can't remember how many songs there were, but all of the other songs are like 9 and 10 out of 10s. Like, yeah, Under the Sea, Part of Your World, Kiss the Girl. I actually forgot about Kiss the Girl. I was like, wait, this song bangs. You're like, yo, what the freak? I love this song. Oh man, but that Ursula song, I was just kind of like, oh, it doesn't sound very good to me. I just did not like it. I didn't like I just really didn't like how it sounded, honestly. Although Ursula is a pretty great villain, I just I just could not vibe. But to be honest, I don't vibe with most villain songs. I only vibe with two. That's Scars and the guy from Prince and the Frog. Those are really the only two that I can remember. And yo, what's good, Sydney? Yeah, the Hunchback of Notre Dame one just
I'm
was not.
doing well, Chris. How's Kennedy?
Wait, what?
You said what's
Oh,
good, Sydney.
oh, I'm sorry. I was reading her messages. Hello, Christopher and Sydney, and right at the end of it, I was trying to say hello, Kennedy, but
I am
it just came
every
out as
female
Sydney.
VGA person.
Hey, Tiffany, what's good? Anyway,
I am Tiffany and Kennedy now, not just Tiffany.
this one was because I was reading Sydney. Okay,
We're all Sydneys here.
everybody's Sydney. What's good, Kennedy? Okay, we. Oh my god, I hate this. Why do all your names end with E? Why can't they end with something different? Like,
Ask my mother.
you know what? I will. You know what? I'm gonna call her tonight on Discord.
She doesn't have Discord.
Don't worry. It's fine. I'll figure it out. But yeah, it's like all the music was great. So to be quite honest, I'm down to give it a 10 out of 10 regardless, even though I don't think the villain song is good, because the other music, they're all classics. If I'm gonna keep it a stack.
This is the beginning of the Howard Ashman, Alan Menken Disney duo. They made magic.
Wait, are they like the main people behind a lot of the music in Disney?
Yes, in the Renaissance era until Howard Ashman's untimely passing.
Oh, well, dang, we really lost out on a banger of a comp musician, conductor,
Composer.
musician, composer. That's the word. I couldn't
Well-
remember the word.
Well, they're all different words, but in his case, he was the composer.
Okay, yes, compose. Yeah, he was very, very good. Part of your world. You know, honestly, I think I love a lot of this music, a lot more because I played it in Kingdom Hearts, and I played Kingdom Hearts a lot.
But isn't
And
the
so
section like horrendously bad?
So in Kingdom Hearts 1, you didn't really deal with like any music. In Kingdom Hearts 2, it was literally just a rhythm game, and I liked that world because I like rhythm games. So I was fine with that one in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Adam also likes rhythm games, but that's a bad one. I've seen it.
I liked it. I thought it was fun. Okay, I did not have a bad time. Anytime I go to that world, I have a good time. Honestly, I really have no bad time there. And I get to listen to the great Disney songs, so I'm like, bro, this is like a plus and a plus. Like, oh, easy. I mean, okay. Well, one, I didn't say it was a good rhythm game. I did not say it was a good rhythm game. No. I said I liked it and it was fun, and it's a rhythm game, and I like rhythm games. I didn't say this was a good rhythm game, but I thought it was fine. But yeah, for music for The Little Mermaid, Sydney, are we giving this a 10?
We're absolutely giving it a 10. But I will say a brief piece on A Poor Unfortunate Souls. Just very brief.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I
What
like-
about it?
I want to just say a couple of words. That's
Oh,
all.
okay. Yeah. Got it.
I love the way that Poor Unfortunate Souls is presented because it falls into the category of, once again, I'm going to talk about musicals. A lot of times in musicals, you know, there's a lot that's it's singing. Sometimes it's like talk singing, and that happens a lot with the people who are the antagonists. So I think that was the direction they were going in. And if you listen to the way that Ursula is singing, it's like she's teasing her and taunting her because she knows she's an insecure 16-year-old girl. And I think, while incredibly manipulative, that is delightful to listen to.
It definitely heightens her villainy in her character, which is why I have to separate her from the song.
That's my in defense, is the style in which it is sung.
I guess it's fair. I didn't care too much for it, but you know, that is a fair explanation, all things considered. Yeah, now we go to the antagonists and villains. And just like I was saying, I like Ursula. I think Ursula's great, honestly. She has her motivation. She was exiled from the kingdom. She hates Triton. She wants to get back at him. She knows exactly how to get to him through Ursula. She's literally always watching, which is very creepy if you think about it, because it seems like there's no like actual like whatchamacallit, what's the word for something when there's like no restrictions? There's like no restrictions on it, so you can just look at anybody at any time, which I think is kind of crazy, to be honest. But she's good. She's very, as you guys know, I love the conniving, characters. But to be honest, she didn't even have to be conniving. She just told Ariel her plan, basically. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna do all this stuff. Okay, all right. Maybe I'm being a little facetious. She didn't say, oh, I'm going to take over, all the seven seas, with all this stuff. Okay, maybe I'm doing a little bit too much. But she was very openly evil, I think. And I think that's great. And when you can get away with that, you're a good villain. I love her walk. I love her talk. She really, she has that villain flair that I love. And yeah, she reminds me of, other great villains, Jafar, Scar, some of the greats. Also, what's good, Dan? So yeah, she's great. She might have had a bad song. That's okay. And technically, to be honest, she actually won. She literally won. But unfortunately, the movie had to hit her with a Deus Ex Machina. She's the god of the sea, but she gets impaled by a ship and she's done for. Come on. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is true. Octopus have 3 hearts, so even if it hit her in the heart, she should be fine. Octopuses also have regenerative properties, so she should have been fine. She was a god of the sea, but that's whatever. So in my book, Ursula just won. So, that's my thing. She's amazing.
All Disney villains in the end usually wind up dying from a little bit of megalovania at the end. They get they get too power hungry and then just like die from their own insanity. It's very Shakespearean.
But all the other ones like make sense. Like, oh, Jafar, oh yeah, he's a genie now. Oh, but he forgot he's actually a genie now. So that means you can put him in the lamp. Oh wow, okay, that works. Or Scar. Scar was like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, Simba, and then Simba, he like pushed him off and then he died. You're like, wow, that's crazy. But this one, like Ursula was like, I literally win. She's like, I don't even care about this. And she saw it coming toward her. It shouldn't have killed her. It literally, that should not have killed her, to
Chris,
be honest.
I guess the question is like mermaids and mermen are a combination of fish and human. So obviously, they have some properties of both fish and humans, mainly being that they are mostly human, but, breathe underwater like fish. I guess the question is how much of Ursula is an octopus, because she still has a person half.
I guess? But it's like she grew so big, right? So that would be like, I don't know, if something a bit large flew into you.
Big people tend to have a whole lot of health issues.
She is a giant octopus lady.
Maybe the blood wasn't done pumping to the other hearts, and only one of them was currently sustaining her at that time.
No, maybe, I guess. I'm gonna need to speak to the Disney execs. I need to figure out exactly what the anatomy was on this, so we can I can understand what's going on.
I think we just need to talk to Andrew. He's an expert in fish.
Ooh, absolutely true. We need to talk to Andrew. But yeah, but all this other stuff, I think Ursula was a great antagonist and villain. Even the two little poopsie oopsies, they were very good, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And I cannot.
Their names were Flotsam and Jetsam.
No, I call them floopsy poopsies because I think that's so funny. And she was like, my poopsies. I love that. So they're floopsy poopsies. Flotsam and Jetsam. Yes, that was in the song, but whatever. Yeah, Ursula gets the perfect score for me, to be honest. But what do you think?
Ursula is a perfect being because she is vengeful and she has been thinking of this plan for a while. And I love a good calculated villain who knows exactly what
Hmm.
they want.
Yup.
She literally got Ariel with the binding legal document, which is just it's really funny to think about now as just a
Yeah,
person of like
Disney knows all about that.
you
Bro,
have a Triton. Well, I have legal documentation.
she said legally binding. And Triton was like, oh no. Oh no, what?
I also love the part at the end where she just starts playing dirty. I just think that's really fun for her character because she knew that the voice was like the easy pick. She's like, "Oh, this guy, he literally fell in love with her because she was singing. Oh, it's going to be so easy. I'll just take her voice." And then Ariel's about to win and she just has to start playing hardball. And
She
she pulls
did.
out all the stops. She knows what she wants and she wants the ocean.
Question. So if Era wasn't in a boat, like what if they just like did like a carousel ride? Like, what would she
Have
have
you
done?
tried to kiss on a carousel ride on different horses? You're like 4 feet away from each other.
Okay, all right. So something I don't know,
Also,
just
was
like
the
on
carousel
a
invented?
stroll. When was it? When did this take place?
I I don't. This is one of those Disney movies. I don't know when it's taken place, but I know that the the Little Mermaid book was written a while ago. I think that was the 1800s.
Oh God,
1837.
I don't know if it was invented at that point. Maybe it was. Probably. I actually have no idea. Imagine how incredibly not corrupt their legal system must be for Ariel to not be able to break that contract when her dad runs the literal entire ocean. Kind of funny and absolutely true. But yeah, continue on, Sydney.
Oh,
If
that's
you
really
had
it.
more. Okay.
That I just
Yeah.
like that she plays dirty and that she will stop at nothing. She's just ruthless.
She is. And you know what? We gotta give her a perfect score for it, right? Like,
Absolutely.
we gotta. 100%. So yeah, so we got that. Then animation and style. All right, Sydney, go ahead and give me your take. I'll see if we differ.
All right. Well, Disney was in a bad state when this movie came out. They had very little money.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first movie in the Disney Renaissance for a reason. It's because it's literally what saved the company. And because of that, everybody's like, "Wow, this movie, groundbreaking, saved the company from bankruptcy." Also was working on a really, really low animation budget. So some of the backgrounds and some of the frames don't look very good. It's also really apparent when it's a static background and there's a character moving in front of it. However,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to point that too severely because that is literally a lack of funding and not a lack of creativity on the animation department. But I will say that, and I think it should count a little bit, but I don't think that should knock it down to like a 2 or like a 1 or
Oh
anything like that.
no,
But
it's not gonna
like,
be anywhere
if
near
we're gonna take a
there.
point away from it, I think this justly deserves a 4 because it's very pretty, but they were struggling a little bit. It's like when you're writing the paper in class and you have like an hour to write it and you're going at a good pace and then they say 5 minutes left and you're on the last paragraph and all of a sudden your words just become like 3 times as large and they're all
Yup.
messy and your beautiful penmanship is just ruined.
You're just like, I gotta get this out. I gotta go. Like, whoo, man, my literal. So in my brain, I remember the Little Mermaid looking a lot better, but literally, like the very first frame when this was coming in, I was like, oh, this is kind of ugly, actually. I was actually shocked. Like, I was like, wait, what? Like when the ship was coming in and stuff, and they were showing the birds had this weird effect. I don't know what they were doing with this weird like wavy fog effect. I did not like it at all. It got to a point I was like, oh, this what they're showing right now must be like some kind of weird flashback or something. but no, it was just the movie. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, okay, well, this was 87. So I was like, I guess this was an 80s movie. Still looks kind of bad. Then they went underwater, and I'm not gonna lie, I still said it looks kind of bad. But it gradually got better. It's like they started off with a lot of bad, but then it progressively got better towards the middle until it stabilized. And I was like, okay. And then for whatever reason, whenever they did like a singing sequence, they immediately moved up the animation quality by at least like 50%. I was like, wow, this is actually better. When she was singing part of it, where I was like, wait, this is straight just better animation. Like, why, where is this for the whole rest of the movie? What's going on?
If I had to guess, that probably was a strategic money strategy where they said, let's make the movie really pretty in the parts that people likely are paying the most attention to.
It had to have been. It 100% had to have been. Because it was definitely not that way the entire movie. But yeah, it was just kind of not pretty to look at a lot of the time. When it was underwater, it was manageable. When it got on land, it was just okay, I guess. But yeah, this was definitely the roughest in the Disney Renaissance portion. This might be the first one where I feel like it doesn't even deserve like an 8, let alone a 7.
Well, this is out of 5.
I'm sorry. Not
it can't.
I'm sorry, a 4. Like I can't give it a 4. A 3 would probably be where I put it. But if somebody said a 2, I would not argue with them too hard, to be honest. But you know, a 3 is probably where it should be.
I personally
I don't think I
would give it a 4, and it's just because so many of those issues come from the state that they were in. I will plead my case, but I'm willing to go down 1 because you did go up in 1 earlier. But I do like the color palette that they used. I like how everything looks in the ocean and everything pops. I think that can be really difficult considering most of the ocean is blue. It's also the reason why Ariel has red hair, is because it looked bad with every other color because she was the main character. And I also like that when she goes on land, it's still colorful, which is something that I was paying very close attention to this time around. Because I know that sometimes that's like a color palette thing where they'll be like, oh, the correct decision is the one that's colorful, and whatever the wrong decision is the one that's like kind of drab looking. But they're both very vibrant looking places. So I think it just kind of demonstrates the struggle that she has even more of wanting to be human, but also acknowledging that she has family and her father down in the ocean who care about her. Just a gentle aside.
Just a gentle aside. Also, another random aside. This is probably the movie where a lot of young people got their redhead fetish from. Probably. People are probably down bad for Ariel.
Ariel started she continued the trope in America of main character energy. She got red hair. Nobody else got red hair.
That's true. Yeah, I get. Yeah, let's put it as a 3.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's fine. Voice cast, voice acting. Everybody was great. I like the voice for it, but the only one where if somebody said something about it, I'd be like, I can see where they're coming from is Sebastian, but I love Sebastian. I love Sebastian's voice. I love the voice actor. I think everybody did spectacular. Flounder sounded like a little timid brother, and that's great. Ariel, she sounds like an Ariel. Standout performance, Sebastian. Ursula. Yeah, Ariel, because Ariel, if the voice actor was also singing, then absolutely Ariel, because they smashed it. yeah, I think everybody did super well. Maybe except Ariel's sisters. They sounded like generic character 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, because I think there are 7
Well,
sisters.
that is kind of what they needed to do.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna take away too much for that. You know, really, it's just kind of like a thing that I know. But everybody else did great. They did fantastic.
I needed to check my facts, and we can safely say that Sebastian, while probably at least offensive, was not racist because his voice actor is in fact somebody of color.
Let's
I had
go.
I had to double check that one. I do know
Oh my.
Aladdin burned me too severely with that cast of all white people.
Yo, actually, real quick aside on that. So I wish I would take the picture of it. I should have done that. So in Under the Sea, when Sebastian is doing his musical number, I don't know if we should do this. I actually know what, I might talk about this and how. Oh, are you talking about the blackfish?
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, hey,
oh, no,
yo.
I even told Adam, I'm like, I wonder if they kept the weird racist fish in the song, and they did.
They absolutely
it's a blink
did.
and you miss it moment, but you're like,
I legit saw that. I was like, whoa, hold on a second. What? I think they literally called it black, like a black fish, right? I was like, hey, yo, what? Greg, it was literally so quick. Just look up the Under the Sea or whatever, and you'll see it. It's like, I don't know, halfway through the song or something like that. But yeah, that was why. Obviously I'm gonna have to hit it when we talk about how did it age. But okay, but we'll get to that. But yeah, the voice cast, everybody was great. What did you what are you thinking?
There's not a bad voice in this. That's like all I have to say. Is I love listening to everybody speak. Like this is another one of those movies that Sydney had on cassette tape and listened to a lot as a child, and so I know most of the songs and most of the words that people say, and the sounds of this movie definitely don't live rent free in my head. No siree, not at all. I don't think about the Jody Benson Part of Your World music video that played at the end of the VHS. No, not at all.
Literally,
Not
like what? No.
not no. What? Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me remembering the intro section where Jody Benson is talking to some goldfish that can also talk, telling her about how excited she is to share this movie called The Little Mermaid with her fish friends. No, couldn't be me.
Like what? No. Nah, me? Nah, never. Not even once. All right, yo. I mean, if that's the case, we could just slap a 5 on this and call it a day. To be honest, because I think they did fantastic.
Absolutely.
Like, easy. Now, how did it age? How did it age?
All right, Chris. Now you have stern opinions on this, so you go. And I poured my heart and soul into this movie probably 20 minutes ago, so you take the lead with this one.
I mean, it's a fine enough movie if you look at it as a whole, all things considered. Like, there's nothing really well, I don't know. If you want to count some things about Ursula, you could make some connections. Am I the guy to make those connections? Probably not. But the blackfish and Under the Sea.
Wait, what are your ones about Ursula? I'm just curious.
Oh, well, it's just like the trope of, like, dark, like if your skin pigment or whatever is dark, you're automatically evil. Like, if you look at everybody else, they're all like, oh, like, we're white, we're good. But the one dark kind of like character is like, oh, that's bad. And evil also, she kind of has like, I don't know, some black flair, I guess. But I'm not the kind of person to make those calls. People will probably be able to disprove or have some other thoughts on that or whatever. But if somebody did, I would be able to see those. those weren't my like super main gripes. That wasn't like a real gripe of mine, like, at all. It was really just the racist fish. Like, it's so small, but I definitely had to notice and point it out. Is that going to affect the movie in the eyes of the people going on? Probably not. Did it affect me? Not really. Did I think it was kind of weird that it was in the movie at all? Absolutely. 100%. So the movie's gonna age fine enough, follow your dreams, follow your heart, wherever it can take you. That's a cool message. Maybe not, at the expense of, your true self and your identity. I don't know. Well, actually, does Ariel really, does she care about her voice that much that she was able to give it up that easily? Like, I
Well,
don't even know if she would consider that.
I think the messaging in that, like, I mean, obviously she knew that she had a good voice, and I think that deep down in her heart she knew that when Eric came to, he heard her voice and didn't really register her face. So I'm sure that that was something that she acknowledged, but that was something more so that Ursula just kind of took advantage of. If anything, I think it's probably an oversight on Ariel's part, but again, that comes when you do something when you're upset and 16 years old. You don't think
Mhm.
about maybe the finer details of your decision.
You don't. You don't. Like, at all. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so the Ursula thing was based off a drag king named Divine, which is a large part of why she looks so different. Okay, all right, yeah, that makes sense. This is exactly why I said I was not the one to make that argument, like at all, because of things like this. So yeah, 100%. Yeah, because a lot of them were clear coded Ursula more so than any of the others.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know. Um,
Uh, I'm sure Kennedy and I could send you copious amounts of Disney YouTube video essays about queer coding of Disney villains.
You absolutely could. I believe you.
There's a lot.
100% I believe you. But
And
yeah,
Chris, do you want to
what?
know what time it is?
It's
It's
8:12.
time. No. It's time for Sydney to share obscure pieces of Disney either merchandise or park information. And I've been
Ooh,
and I've
yes.
been I've been waiting for this one. Did you know that this
Ooh.
is an official piece of Disney merchandise that they sold at the Disney park?
Hold the freak on.
That is not a custom hat.
But Daddy, I love him. Who's wearing this hat?
The better
Who's
question
wearing
is
this
who
hat?
thought this was a good hat to make?
I don't know. Apparently, I don't know who they thought who thought they were gonna wear it. I don't. Adam, there.
It's
Actually, Adam, you would wear the
He'd
hat.
rather wear that than Big Booty Ho.
I remember that. I was literally thinking about that. Like, but Daddy, I love him. Oh my God. Yes. Truly, truly, iconic, but Daddy, I love him. Truly iconic quote from the movie.
And I think that since that movie gave us this, it should get a 5 out of 5 for how it age. Gave us the most incredible piece of Disney merchandise to exist.
Well, you see, it could have got a 5 out of 5, but unfortunately, it's the movie's kind of ugly. I'm not sure how many people are going to be going back to watch the movie because I feel like it's very off-putting. But I will say, if they go through it long enough, they will hit the songs, and that might change their mind. But they have to get to that point, and it takes at least a good 20 minutes before we get to the first song, right? I think 15, 20 minutes, maybe?
It takes like 20 seconds.
The first song? Wait, wasn't the first
Yeah,
song part of your world?
they sing a song on the boat.
Oh my God. Wait, what was that song? I don't remember that song at all, actually.
Well, I don't remember it very well either, but I know it starts with the song.
I legit did not even remember that song.
Eric and his crew, and they're singing. And, they're talking about how there's mermaids below the sea. It kind of sets up the mythology of the world. And, Eric's love and life, and Grimsby throws up overboard, and then the fish falls out of the fishing thing, and then it falls into the part of your world, but the score version of it.
You remember that a lot better than me. I thought the first song was
I
part of your
have
world.
watched this movie a lot.
Yeah, obviously. So if we're going to how it aged, I don't know if that song's gonna really do it for somebody. I would probably click off before, but it does have some good things going for it. Like the music is good, the messaging is solid. You know, Ariel is a fun character, so I could give it a 4. I could give it a 4. I
I
don't think
am
it quite
comfortable
lives up
with
to
a 4.
5, but
I
in
am
my
comfortable
heart
with a
of
4 because it is not the prettiest looking due to budgeting. It has that one random racist fish for some reason, and I'm sure there's other offensive undertones throughout. But it also has a very powerful message for the LGBTQ plus community. It marks the beginning of the Disney Renaissance, and
that's
it has
true.
some gorgeous songs.
Absolutely. This is Disney music, and I love it. They still haven't figured out the villain song, but you know what? That's fine. I'll get over it, and I still got a 5 in that category regardless. So, looks like we have our scoring. So, if we add it up all together, we have 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. 17 plus 10 is 27. 27 plus 8 is 30. 35. 35. Yeah, 35. 35 plus 8 is 43. So, if we're going, so hmm, we will have to place this when we're truly like at the end, so we can get a an accurate score.
And when we move things around.
Yes, yes, when we move things around. So right now, the current score is a 43, and we will determine where that is momentarily. But before that, bathroom break for me. Sydney, keep them entertained with good lore about the LGBTQ community and what this movie did for them. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
I'm not the right spokesperson to talk about that. And
Oh,
I would plug
rest in
people,
peace.
but I don't have the ability to do that very well. Um,
Well
you
then,
know,
well then, give them good lore about the movie, about fun facts about the Little Mermaid. You got it, Sydney. I believe in you.
okay. Well, the main one is that, Ariel has red hair because it stands out in the back of the water backgrounds. And she was supposed to be blonde, but they literally animated her with blonde hair, and they're like, absolutely not. This looks awful. Um, uh, make fun of Chris while he's gone. I'm not gonna do that, because he can just watch the VODs, and I don't want to say anything damning. I will say he was late, because he was, but that's that's all I'm gonna say. Um, yes, Howard, CP9 late. CP9 late indeed. I'm actually gonna. I'm hungry. uh, the unfortunate thing is that when Chris said he needs to take a bathroom break, I also have to take a bathroom break, and I'm probably gonna do that too. I don't want to dunk on Overwatch, and it's just because I shamelessly still play it because it's a nothing game that I can turn my brain off and just kind of zone out and play. You know, I have admitted to more shameful things than that, so I'm fine with you yelling shame in the chat, Howard. I can live with that. I'm gonna go to the bathroom though, because I also have to use that.
Okay, all right, I'm back. I'm back. All right, did you regale them with your tales of the Little Mermaid? Sydney?
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sid-
Adam said I might have been
Sydney
on
said
mute.
you weren't muted on mine. I saw your little Discord thing going up and down. You should
Well,
have.
I
Oh, wow.
we have a headset that like when you pull the thing up and down, um, like it mutes and unmutes, and I think I just hadn't pulled it into position correctly. I also
Oh.
went to the bathroom, Chris, and I also got dinner.
Oh, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. All right, you back? You ready?
Yes,
All right, so let's talk about our second movie, to which, if I remember correctly, neither of us had seen this movie, correct?
correct. This was my
All
first
right.
viewing of Raya and the Last Dragon.
Racist co. Okay, I have no racist co-hosts on my show. All right, ever. Maybe except for that one Sydney girl, but that's it. All right. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Yeah. So, let's see characters. For Raya and the Last Dragon. Let's see. Oh my goodness. What was her name? What was the main character's name? I cannot
Raya?
remember. Wait, I thought that was the name of Wait, what was the name of the dragon?
Sisu.
Oh. Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah,
I
Raya.
think that
So
should be
I
indicative of how Chris feels about the characters. Couldn't
no
remember the
no
main
no
character's name on the eponymous movie.
no. I just got kind of confused. I liked Raya. I liked Raya a lot actually. She was so believable in this type of world. I don't know why. I feel like she was very consistent in what she did. She did make mistakes, but I feel like they were founded on correct assumptions. And honestly, I love how she was like, she just kind of did whatever she needed to do. She made her own jerky. She fought people as she needed to. She had her own adorable companion. I love Raya. I honestly think Raya gotta be like a top 5 Disney character for me. I really liked Raya. I thought Raya was very, very cool. She's like, what's the word? Or like if I had like a combo, she's like Moana, but like mixed with Mulan because she knows how to fight. Yeah.
I mean,
Raya's
she is like Moana in the sense that she doesn't seem to have any flaws, for some reason,
what are you talking about?
or
She
really
does have
strong
flaws.
character development.
What are you talking about? She literally does. What?
Yeah, I know they're
What?
only flaws. That's it though, and it's one.
Oh.
It's that she doesn't
Oh.
trust people.
Yeah, that's the I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's like the well, I mean, she was kind of getting boxed up by old girl, so maybe she wasn't the best fight. Anyway, yeah, I loved her character. She was great. You know who I wasn't feeling for majority of the movie? I immediately forgot the dragon's name. What's the dragon's name again?
Sisu.
Yeah, are you saying Jisoo?
No, Sisu.
Sisu, that's who it was. Yeah, Sisu. I feel like if this was a different voice actor, I would like to see. I don't know who voiced this character, but I don't think they were
It's
the right.
Aquafina.
Who's that?
She's a comedian.
She sounded like a comedian, but I can tell you right now, she was not. She was not the voice actor for this. I'm gonna keep it a band. I like what Sisu was trying to represent. I feel like I would have loved her playful nature more had she been voice casted different. but I can kind of see past it and understand. She
So
was
this
kind
gonna
of
be
doing a
the
little bit too
first time
much.
that voice cast slash voice acting doesn't get a 5.
What? It's not the first time, right? It's not the first time.
It's gotta be
Chicken
like
Little
one
didn't
of
get
the
a
only
5.
2 times.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be one of those times. But you know, I do like Sisu and what she kind of represents in the movie and what she's trying to show Raya. She doesn't listen to Raya when Raya's trying to tell her good stuff. Yeah, when she's trying to tell her good stuff. But you know, whatever, and that did lead to a bunch of annoying scenarios. But you know, I get it. If your whole thing is like, you know, about trust, you trust people in an untrustful world, you know, bad things can happen. She should have stayed in the boat, I guess. Whatever. And definitely not because the dude who voices Wong in the Marvel movies is his voice actor. Uh, wait, who was Tong? Wait, who's Tong?
The
Was
guy who
Tong
voices
the
Wong
dad?
in the Marvel movies.
Oh, I thought we were talking about. I thought Adam was saying somebody in this movie.
No, that is somebody in this movie. Tong is voiced
Tong.
by Wong.
Okay, but who's Tong?
He's the
Like
guy from Spine, who takes care of the baby.
Oh, okay. Oh, I loved him. I unironically loved him. He was just a big, strong, lovable man who lost his family. He was very sad. He was trying to comprehend like what's his role, but he has nothing to fight for, and it was just all bad. He had a wife and kid, and it was just sad. I liked him. The characters that I did not like initially, but definitely grew to love. The baby and the monkeys. 100% did not like the baby and the monkeys at first. I was like, bro, what is this? This is so stupid. Like, bro, a baby and some monkeys out here robbing? Like, no. And then at the end of the movie, I was like, oh, let's go. Let's get them, baby. Let's get them, monkeys. I don't know what it was, but at some point, I loved them. I really did love them. Let's see. The kid who had the boat, can't remember his name. He was cool. Yeah, Boone. He was cool. I didn't have any problem with him. He just liked to cook, and he gave him a ride places. So hey, I messed with him, and he definitely helped out in the end when they were like, yeah, we gotta help these people. Bro, bet absolutely. He really wants to help. All right, I'm with it. What was her face? Namari? What a backstabbing piece of garbage. Get this girl out my movie. Oh my god. Okay. I didn't like her personality, but I understand why she was the foil in the movie. And, you know, it did so with great effect. But god dang, she was such a backstabber, and I hate it because it was so blatant. Even at the end, when she was about to shoot Sisu or whatever, I'm like, hey, yo, she's really about to do this? She's such a snake. Yes, she is. And I was like, oh, she did do the right thing at the end. Maybe they forgave her a little bit too hard, too quickly, I guess. But the whole thing is about trust, so I can get past that. The dad, he was a goat. I love the dad. Oh man, so sad that he got, you know, changed into stone. But he was a goat. I loved him. And obviously, the little armadillo thing, I loved it. I can't remember its name, but he was like my top 2 character in this movie. I loved him. But as a whole, when they're all working together, once they're all together, they work together really, really well. Honestly, still kind of don't like Raya, but I'm sorry, not Raya, Sisu, but that's whatever. So overall, this was super solid. This was super duper solid. But what did you think, Sydney?
I hated this movie.
Yo, what?
I did not like this movie, Chris.
Oh my god.
Chris,
Yo,
I really? Didn't. I tried.
Oh my god.
It was
okay.
like perfectly fine But my god, you're singing the praises of these characters. I'm like, Raya's generic, and Namari doesn't have a motivation out of being manipulated by her mom. I literally don't know what she wants out of life. I have no idea what anybody here wants to do except for Raya because she insistently says, "I want to get my father back. I want to get my father back. I want to get my father back." Okay, but like is there more? Do you not
What do you
want
mean?
to harness like the prosperity of the land? You know, getting your dad back also means that the whole earth will be healed. Do you want to do something about that? Would you like to perhaps use a character flaw or personality trait that could, maybe be manifested into the rest of the narrative? What's that? No, because we don't know anything about Raya except that she doesn't trust people, and that is it. And it is so frustrating. It is like her character flaw is just her character. And I was waiting this whole time to be like, okay, there's gonna be like a moment of quiet where we're gonna like see, like, I'm not asking her to have superpowers. I'm just asking her to have something to say other than, you shouldn't trust people. I don't trust people. I trusted one person one time and she was a backstabbing bitch. And you know what? I'm going to trust her again later in the movie and she's going to be a backstabbing bitch. But that last time I trust her, oh boy, it's going to be great. I don't know why this whole movie juggles the concept of trust but can't figure it out. And also, I hate that the antagonist of this movie, not Namari, is just evil. That is such a bad villain. It is just the incarnation of evil.
Oh,
What am I supposed to
we'll
do
get to
about
that.
that? The
We'll
drone is
we'll
just negative
we'll get to that.
negativity and
I mean, they're not.
evil
It's
and
not even really a
wickedness.
character.
No,
Like the Droon
it's a
isn't a character.
it is literally a force of nature. It is literally a good versus evil story. I hate that. Throw in some gray. Make me want to care about these characters. I hate black and white morality. It's so boring.
All
And
right.
like
So it
it's
seems
just
like
so rushed. I don't know anything about the characters out of their like one trait. The baby is like, oh, she's sly and steals because we see her be sly and steal one time. That's it. Then she's just a baby. Tong is literally the only character who gets to be things, and it's because he gets to be the subversion of a big scary man who's actually very frightened of the world itself. Namari is literally just being manipulated by her mom. I don't know a single thing about her except that she's a dragon nerd, and she might not even be a dragon nerd. She could have just been lying about that whole time, because there's not another instance about that except for the one scroll and the one necklace. That's it. There's no instance where she's like showing interest in it outside of when she sees Sisu, and it's because at that point, then she's just stunned that dragons do exist. And Boone, he makes shrimp. He makes shrimp and congee. What else does he do? He lost his family? Oh, boo hoo. So did everybody else.
kind of rude, but okay, I guess. Okay. So we
Raya
have a
lost her
very.
family. Tong lost his family. Baby lost his family. That can't be your trait.
I mean, he wasn't even like booning over it. He wasn't like that over the movie. As a matter of fact, he like kind of chastised Raya because Raya was acting like, her father's the only thing that matters. He's like, yo, we lost our family too. Like, come on. Like, I mean,
Exactly. So
I
that
mean,
can't be a
Boone.
character trait. Everybody's dealing with that.
I mean, Boone's thing, his character trait was he cooked. He was by himself, just cooking. Honestly, he was a merchant that had a boat. Yeah, he didn't have much more than that. I mean, he was obviously very helpful, but we don't have to kick him for that. Like he didn't make a big deal that his family was gone like anybody else did. He was just like, yeah, my family's gone too, and we can all have solace in this. So that I think on that part on Boone, like his whole thing was he cooked, and that was it. uh so it looks like we have completely different viewpoints on the characters. So One thing that I noticed, I think Raya absolutely did have like reason to be so distrustful for her character, and she did in fact learn at the end. Now she did have that moment where she was like, okay, yeah, we can definitely, like, trust people, as was shown when she was about to, trust Namari again. And then, that was broken because let's not forget, Namari literally had finger on the trigger, was about to pull it, and she was like, okay, well, obviously I was right. Also, she's been alone for 6 years, and she's seen a lot of distrustful things. And when Sifu was going out and she was like, doing all this stuff in the, I think it was Fang or whatever village or whatever, and she was like, Raya was like, hey, don't do that. People are gonna lie and steal. And what happened? She was lied to and she was stolen from. So Raya wasn't wrong. Everything
But
she was saying
show
was
us
100% true. What'd you say?
Show us that. All of the stuff that happens, with the exception of the very beginning where Raya's like, I trusted one person one time and they stabbed me in the back, has defined her entire character moment as far as the audience is concerned. There is not another
Well,
instance before meeting everybody where she has been wronged or her trust was tested. That's it.
when she trusted the baby, we saw what
I
happened
said
with
before
that.
everybody came in.
Wait, what do you mean before it? Oh, wait,
Like
what do you mean
before
before
she
everybody?
started meeting people. When it was just her and Tuk Tuk in the desert for 6 years looking for a river.
Well, I mean, like, did they really have to show us that? Because they've literally been telling us that like the whole movie. Like that was like the
They
whole
didn't tell
beginning
us
part
that
when she was
that
like
whole
a kid.
movie.
Yeah, they did. Like in the beginning, she was like, "Oh yeah, like everything wasn't like always like this or whatever. Like we can't come to an understanding. We can't trust each other because we have like the heart of the dragon or whatever, and people always want to fight, and that was like the main issue, right?
But show that that's still a thing. Because, like, as far as the movie is concerned, it's that she gave Namari her trust in that one moment in the beginning, and that became her defining feature throughout. Even if there was just one additional scene before she finds Sisu, of, like, somebody trying to, I don't know, scam her out of money. She's trying to buy something, and they try and shorthand her or something. Something in addition to that that doesn't just expect us to seem that she's been dealing with people who've been distrustful for 6 years. Her specifically, that has made her this hardened person to the existence of trust because one person one time hurt her feelings. Granted, it was a big time, but still.
Well, it's not. Well, we can infer and we can see
I
based
don't
on her
want to
knowledge that
infer.
that's probably not the case. And we also have to remember that she was in fact right about those things later on in the movie. So there is basis to what she's saying. Now, could they have shown it to us? Sure, but that doesn't go away from the fact that she was in fact correct. Still, regardless. Like, yes, that one point is very, very defining for her character, and that's true. Maybe they could have shown more, but doesn't take away from the fact that she was right, though. She was 100% correct. And all of the other characters, I mean, none of them really had anything really going for them, you know. Except for Tong. I like Tong. Tong. He was cool. I like Tong. The baby obviously didn't have anything, and the kid with the boat obviously didn't have anything. And Sisu, I just didn't like Sisu. But if I were to give these characters, if I were to give these like characters as a whole a score, I would probably say, let's see. I'd probably say a 7. I'd probably say 7 because I think they do bounce off each other pretty well, especially when they're all together. To be honest,
I don't think a 7 is good. I'd do a 6, and it's just because they're so underdeveloped. And I know literally nothing about any of these characters.
like when we were talking about the little mermaid, like we didn't bash the characters that we knew nothing about, right?
That's because you didn't. You They weren't in the movie.
They were.
Like
What are you
they
talking about? We knew nothing about Flounder, so bad. We literally know nothing about the world. Just that Ariel wants to like go somewhere, right? Now, you know, we took away some for that, but I don't think we should like hit it that hard for that, right? Because the
but
main thing is like their family's gone.
Yeah.
They're not. They're main characters. They're like side characters to Raya. They're like Raya's sidekick. Like Sebastian and Flounder is to Ariel, right?
But Raya's whole thing is literally that she doesn't trust people. She doesn't have another character archetype outside of that. That's it.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with like the other characters?
They also have nothing outside of their one instance of being on screen.
Yeah, but I mean, but I'm comparing it to like Little Mermaid, right? Because like Little Mermaid, if you look at those characters, they also don't have that.
They purely exist to bounce off of Ariel and to motivate her in her one dream. Raya, while being the focal character, is affected by these other characters. They exist in this world. It's kind of like a band of people banding together at the end. Even when they're gonna go fight the Droon in Fang, it's a whole massive group of them who are gonna be fighting. It's this like found family group. Ariel's story is very independent.
Yeah, Ariel's story is very independent, but if you're talking about like all the characters around her, right? If we're talking about characters and they should like mean something if they're with her, like a majority of the movie, like Flounder and Sebastian were, then you know they should have some substance if we're saying for characters like this, right? Because Raya's story is like, I need to get to my destination. I will meet people along the way. And obviously when she meets people, she inherently trusts them more. So, you know, that is like a character defining trait. So these characters that are coming in are inherently helping Raya make herself better because, you know, she's trusting them, right? So they do have that effect on her.
But they're also playing a role in her journey. It's a whole group of them coming together to fight at the end. It's a found family group. It's a camaraderie story. It's learning to trust people for the benefit of everybody because there's strength in numbers. I'm just saying that Ariel's story is literally Ariel's story. Raya's story is affected by the existence of other characters. Ariel's is literally just that, you know, Sebastian looks after her. That doesn't make Sebastian a bad character. It just means that it's not his story, it's Ariel's. Everybody who Raya meets, they're involved in what's going on. Ariel's is like in a vacuum.
But it's not though, right?
What do you mean it's not?
Like, so if we're looking at other, like, okay, let's say like Eric, right? Like Eric is like a main driving force in the Little Mermaid, right? But we know he's a prince. We know he's looking for love. That's it. If Eric is such a driving force and we know literally nothing about him, you know, then we should probably like, you know, affect that more a little more. But we understand what he is. All right, he's just kind of like the means to the end in Ariel's story, and so I feel like we should be able to apply that to these characters. But I feel like these characters at least have a little bit more fleshed out than that kind of character archetype, and I think we can give them a little bit more leeway than what we're giving them right now.
But we know so little about them. That's all I'm saying.
That's okay. That's okay. This is Raya's story. That's okay that we know little. We know enough.
I don't know
enough.
I know there's a baby and a tall man.
But we know what happened to their families are stoned. What else do we need to know? Do we need to care about how they came to be? No.
No,
we just need to know.
What are they bringing to the table?
That's
I'm saying.
We see what they're bringing to the table. What do you mean? Like the baby and the monkeys?
They're to the table.
I will tell you exactly what they bring to the table. The baby and the monkey. They obviously are very slick, very sly. They can get anything done, as they've shown in the movie when they were distracting guards. They stole stuff. Even when they met Tong, they really came in. They saved Raya. You know, all that good stuff. The guy with the boat. He is literally the transportation. Without him, they literally can't do anything. He also makes them food. He's the chef of the group. Obviously great. He has a good heart. He won't just let his team go down. When Raya was, you know, captured by Tong or whatever, he came in with the monkeys and the guys. He's like, yeah, we're here to help. And Tong, honestly, Tong might have the least to do with the group. He was just a great presence, to be honest. So yes, they all do have stuff that's going on with them. They do have added value. It's not like they're just sitting around just like, so what's Raya doing? They are active parts of the story, and they make Raya better. They enhance Raya. They do stuff. They do stuff, and they're very heartfelt and they're very sweet. So yeah.
Eh. No one really thinks they're sweet.
Yes, they are. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Nah. That's what you have. So that's why I think this category deserves at least a 7, because while they aren't like super fleshed out, they are fleshed out enough for the story, and they do enough on their own with Raya to enhance Raya's story and what she's trying to do and what she's trying to accomplish.
But Raya doesn't have enough other personality traits to warrant those being fleshed out. You see a little bit of it with the
Raya's personality is
but
trust.
Raya, that's it.
That's all you need. Like what else
not
more?
all you need.
What do you? Okay, Sydney, if you're looking at a movie like what else more are you looking for? What else more are you looking for?
What does Raya bring to the table except for the fact that she doesn't trust people? That's all.
What? That's all? What do you mean that's all? That's enough. That's a huge part of that is the movie.
What do you mean that's enough?
That is enough. What are you talking about? She went through so much development and trying to figure out that trust is not easy to figure out. What do you mean, what development? Her learning to trust people. It literally shows the progression as we're going to the movie. She was like, oh man, I'm going to this movie. I don't trust people. She didn't trust the baby. All right, well, she learns that the baby could be useful. They start going on the adventure together. She gets the guy with the boat. She obviously starts beginning to trust people. In the beginning, she said she doesn't trust anybody, okay? And then at the end, she was like, I'm going to trust my old seeming pal Namari. And she backstabbed her. And then at the end, she literally has the defining moment. She's like, you know what? I'm going to take this first step. And she gave her piece and she turned into stone to show that, yes, we can do this. Just trust me. That is development. That is development through the story. What is going? Yes, 100% development.
Because she doesn't have another character trait. That's all. I just want her to have something she's passionate about, or some offhanded character. Literally anything. All I know is that she has a sword and that she doesn't trust people. That's it. I just want one extra thing. Just
we
so
do
that
have that
I
thing.
care about her, because I don't.
She's passionate about dragons. She's passionate about dragons. That was like the first thing. She's a
dragons at a certain point.
She is passionate about dragons. That was literally like the first thing we learned about her. She loves dragons. And she's also very, very entwined with the thought of her father, reaching his dream or whatever. She wants that. When Sifu was like, hey, this is like your dad's dream, like this, I can't remember the saying or whatever. But yes, she does want things. She has passions. She's not just this one singular note. Maybe 2 notes, but not just 1 note. She has more things. Yes. So I feel like we're not being, charitable enough to Raya. I feel like it's not charitable enough. And so that's why I think it deserves a 7.
Fine, give it a 7. Give the shit cast a 7.
It was not that bad.
Oh yes, it was.
Guaranteed not. But what did you think about the story, though?
I hated it.
Okay. All right.
Chris,
well, why?
Chris, no. I have a question. Why is this movie in segments?
What do you mean?
Genuinely, why is this movie in segments?
No, I mean,
why,
what do you mean by
when we go to a new place, do they tell you where you are? A Quentin Tarantino movie or an Avatar The Last Airbender with chapters. Because all it does for this is make me acutely aware of the fact that we've spent a whole 10 minutes in a certain area before going on. We know nothing about what happened, and frankly, I don't care about what happened. They went for a stylistic choice, and it didn't work, and it makes the pacing of this movie insufferable because you are acutely aware of how long you are into the movie at all times. If you are in the third act and something goes wrong, all you think is, wow, it's the third act. I bet this will happen. If you're half an hour into the movie and something bad goes wrong, you go, wow, it's only been a half an hour. I'm sure something will go wrong, but it can't be that bad. It's only half an hour. It's like when you watch a movie and then there's a sequel, and so the main character's dying and the main character's in the sequel, and you just lose all sense of stakes because you're like, well, I know they're not gonna die. So, yeah, they're like dead, but they're not dead.
I mean, I I didn't really have a problem with the segments. I I mean, I just thought it was fine. Like if I'm looking at the story as a whole, it was kind of it was kind of whatever. Honestly, I honestly didn't have too big of a problem with the movie. It did feel a bit. It did feel a bit generic. Just a bit. The segments I didn't have a problem with that. I really like it stylistically when movies like have like the this is where you are now, like the title or whatever, where you're at. I really enjoy that. I remember them doing something like that in Ratatouille, and I really loved it there. I think it's because they did it in Kingdom Hearts, and I really love it there. But yeah, I like that. But I mean, I didn't really have a problem with it being segmented. But to be honest, I didn't really think about it too much. It didn't add or detract anything for me. But if we're talking about the story itself, young warrior, she has to, find the dragon. We know she's gonna find the dragon. All right, yeah, that's cool. We go on an adventure. The people are tracking her. Oh, how did they know where she was? Oh, they just knew, of course. Yeah. That's cool. Yes, she got back. Now, honestly, I will say I wasn't expecting her to get backstabbed so fast in the beginning of the movie, but that's whatever. You meet a colorful cast of characters. All the same good stuff. It didn't really. This is like that generic sauce that Disney seems to be putting into a lot of their newer movies. It doesn't really, you know, it doesn't really make me feel, at least all the time. I definitely at the end when they were all like getting back together and stuff like that, I was definitely feeling something. I was like, oh, okay, this I like that. I like that moment when they're all getting back with their families. It was definitely super duper getting to me. Um, them at the end, them all putting the gem together. Oh no, whatever will happen. Yes, we all know it's gonna save everything. Like that's not a problem. We all know that's gonna happen, and everybody's gonna come together at the end. Yeah, the ending was like super duper clean, but it maybe shouldn't have. So generic for the most part. I didn't have too many like strong points that I really loved about it for the most part, but it was all right. It was an all right story, all things considered. Nothing crazy though. But what did you think, Sydney?
I did not like the story. I found it really boring and generic and predictable because of the segmentation and to the different areas in which the movie was taking place. So whenever they were in different sections, when they were in tail and when they were in claw and fang and spine, it all felt very like I kind of knew what was going to happen based on standard story beats because it is a Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that takes away from it, unfortunately. I understand it's like a stylistic choice, but the movies that I think about that have that are also like 2.5 hours long. And they also don't do like five of them. And it just was really confusing because I don't understand why they opted to do that. Because in the beginning, they kind of talk about the mythology of the Kumandra, and it's like, oh, okay, this looks like a very cool world. And then the entire movie, you spend like 5 minutes in each section, and I'm like, okay, well, okay, so there was a desert, there was a city, which I would hope there's more of the city. Obviously, like it's taken over by the Droon, but it's a city. there's a bamboo forest, and then an incredibly densely populated area uh, in Fang, which obviously has been the location of great prosperity as a result of the gem. I, and
Hmm.
I don't know anything about these places because we spent 10 minutes in them. The one that I know the most about is Tail, and it's a desert. It's barren, and we spent the most amount of time there, which seems like a little bit of a waste. Um, I hate the ending. The clean ending, it's too clean, too neat. Don't like that. I don't think that Namari deserved that moment at the end.
She
She
definitely
didn't
didn't.
deserve it.
She 100%
She
did not.
she literally did not deserve it. If
I agree.
if I was a Disney executive writing this movie, to bring home its horrendously skewed message of trust that it seems to waffle about the entirety of thinking it's a good idea to trust people, but then also being directly hurt by those people that you trust because you put your faith in them and it turns out you can't put your faith in them. If I was
Kind of
taking
true.
that if I was taking that message and I wanted to write a story about it and I wanted an ending, I would do it. They even had each one of them had a damn piece of the gem. I thought Uriah was gonna say, let's put our gem together. Let's make the gem whole again. All of us, a whole united nation, all of Kumandra, here, a representative from each area. Wow, what a great idea. Instead, she's like, Namari, I know that you literally stabbed me in the back 6 years ago, but I trust you now. For some reason. For some reason, even though
Wait,
she was literally about to
are you
go
talking
kill
about when you're doing
Sisu.
the are we talking about when we were doing the gem exchange, or are you talking about when they were like at the very end?
No, the gem exchange. When everybody gave their pieces to Namari for some reason, even though she literally did nothing to earn their trust. She didn't kill them. That's about it. I that would have been so much more powerful if it was just like a mini Kumandra moment and they had every represent of somebody from every continent represent the motion of bringing the gem together and becoming a whole continent again. Why?
I mean,
Why was Namari the one? She didn't earn
yeah,
it.
she didn't. She didn't. And if you really think about it, it kind of didn't make sense. Why, uh, Raya had to off herself at the end. She could have just been like, "Yeah, let's put it together, guys," and well, then we'll be good. And she was like,
Like,
"Nah,
did they want me to
I'm
feel an emotion? Did they want me to feel sad for half a second? It didn't work.
I was definitely
It
just
didn't
confused
work. I
more than
just
anything.
watched her turn into sand. I'm like, wow. Why? Why? And then everybody else like sadly gave their gem to Namari. Like, why does Namari get to live? Why do y'all have to turn into sand? What if it's one of
Oh,
those snap things where you don't feel anything when you turn into sand? Or what if it's something like when you turn into sand and you're consumed by the Droon, you feel every awful emotion suddenly? What if you experience a great deal of trauma in just the moments that you experience as a sand sculpture? Nobody addresses that. Nope. I don't feel bad for Raya because I don't know anything that goes on in there.
also, quick thing that I don't know if it was ever really addressed, or maybe I missed something. But so when people turn into stone, they do the giving hand pose or whatever. They like have their hands out in front of them. But when they turn into stone at the end, only Raya did that, but the other people were like holding on to her. I don't know what that really meant, but it was very inconsistent with the statue kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I thought
I
the
just thought I'd
stone was
point that
gonna
out.
go there.
You
Every
thought,
single thought that I had in that like 40-second period where I'm like, oh, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. This is like the cleanest, most basic ending ever. They just like took like they threw themselves into the woods. They were on a straight highway and they were like, let's just go explore the river real quick. This entire movie has been a straight shot. A straight shot. The whole time you see the highway passage signs, you're like, wow, another mile has passed. Another mile has passed. Another mile has passed on my 10-mile journey. And then on the 8th mile, they're like, let's just go left off the road into the forest for some reason. But then, like, they reach their destination and their car's fine.
I mean, yeah, I mean, all that stuff is fair. Like, I agree. It was just kind of like, a whatever story. I was thinking like a 6, but what were you thinking?
A 5.
All right. All right. I can at least see a 5. It's just, it's like whatever. Music. I don't remember any of the music.
Neither do
Well,
I.
what were some of the? Wait, were there even any songs in this movie? Actually,
I don't think there were songs. And I was joking to Adam, I don't think I could ever appropriately sing the background tracks without sounding racist.
Raya OST. Did this
I know
have?
there was the out of place pop song that plays at the end at the credits.
No, I tried to watch. I tried to click on the. Oh, never mind. Okay, there it is. I mean, okay, so that song was out of place, but it was a banger. So that was just a good song. Maybe not for this movie, but it was a great song, all things considered.
I actually don't think Aquafina did any of the singing in this movie.
I would not imagine her to. It doesn't sound like she is the singing type. I mean, she could be, but it didn't sound like it. Is there? Yeah, there was nothing in this movie music-wise that was like mind-blowing. It was just the score, right? So it was like, it was fine.
I don't even remember the score.
I mean, I feel like, most of them. It's kind of like. Let's see. It's probably kind of like. Well, maybe not even Home on the Range. Maybe Zootopia.
But
I don't think
Zootopia had the Shakira songs.
Did it? Wait, weren't those at the end though?
Yeah. But they weren't like an end credit song. It was like she made one song.
Yeah, I guess. I'd still put it, more to.
She had that moment when she was
style.
on the train and she put her little earbuds in and she listened to Shakira.
I don't know if I want to. I mean, I guess I have to kind of because of like in the song, but it was just kind of like, a score. It's like the songs all fit the moments, but it didn't really go much further than that, and there was no like banger song to really make me like heart, like, oh yeah, Raya's like this amazing soundtrack or anything like that. So if I were to give this a score. 6? But what are you thinking?
This is out of 10. I mean,
Yes. Yes, music is out of 10.
I mean, it's like 3 from me. There's no songs in it, and frankly, I don't remember the score. I mean, you say
Okay.
that like, oh, it matched what was going on, but I don't remember any of it.
Well, yeah, because it's like, because
the yelling. Well, not the yelling,
yeah.
the chanting.
So I definitely think a 3 would more denote like the songs don't fit. Like some of the songs don't fit. The only song that probably didn't fit was the very end song, but that's like at the end for credits. I can kind of look past that. But if I'm talking about just like the score itself, if I go back and like listen to it, the score did at least make sense. Like we have to give it at least that much props. I feel like a 5 should probably be the lowest, because although there was nothing like stand out, there was nothing offensively bad at all. If there's something offensive, then I think we should start like taking off like, you know, more points or making it like harsh, right? Because that's typically what we do. But stuff that's just kind of like whatever or like nothing, we don't hit it too hard. We just don't praise it a lot, right?
What have we given low scores to in music then? Has anything gotten under
Uh
a 5?
let's see. Under music?
Yeah.
Uh probably Chicken Little. Actually, Chicken Little might have just gotten a 5. I didn't put all of the exact score, like the exact like breakdowns of everything. But yeah. I don't think anything's gotten under a 5 or except maybe Chicken Little. Except maybe. So I feel like Raya doesn't belong in that category. Although I will say, you know, Chicken Little did have songs that I really liked, but they were all, you know, just popular songs, I guess. So I don't know how you want to do that. But for this movie, the Raya soundtrack is just songs that fit the movie. Just like background songs that just fit what's going on. And they're very thematically correct.
I think I'm just struggling with in this specific scenario that, like, you know, the songs don't take away from it, but also like they don't add anything either, because they
Yeah.
don't have, like, they're not memorable. So it's like 5 feels like the baseline.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. You know, if you set a 5, because like there really isn't anything to like the soundtrack, right? There's nothing that's gonna make you cry about it. But if you see like this soundtrack, you're like, yeah, this music, it fits.
I agree with Dan in his most recent comment that not memorable is worse than bad. I don't think that should make it lower than a 5 with that justifiable reason. However, I do feel like I'm not gonna remember a single song from this even in a score form. Like, if I hear
You
it one time, I'm
literally
gonna be
won't.
like, oh, what's that? And then I'm gonna look at my phone and be like, oh, it's from Raya. Okay.
It's like, because like not memorable in this case, because it's just a scores, and you know, as Greg said, most scores are hardly even noticed in general. So it might not even be that the score is bad, it's just that there's nothing like overwhelming about it, right? Like it could be good, but there's nothing crazy about it. A bad score is definitely worse than a not memorable one. That, you know, that is a fantastic point, Greg. So if we're doing this just based on like it's kind of like nothing, I feel like a 5 is appropriate. I feel like a 5 is appropriate.
A 5 is appropriate.
Yeah. Antagonists and villains. So the main, I guess, antagonistic for, okay, I guess it's kind of Namari, but the other thing, the Droon, it's just literally nothing. I was like, man, this is fantastic. I sure do love my mysterious darkness. This is, oh, freak. What movie did we do where there was just like, oh wait, I'm sorry, that was just Winnie the Pooh. I can tell you right now, this is 100% better than Winnie the Pooh. What did we give Winnie the Pooh? Whatever it is, it's the same score or a point better. Because Winnie the Pooh literally didn't have one. But you know, Namari, she's like, I mean, she makes sense. Like honestly, she's just following the bidding of her mother, so she is just bad on that front. The mother is never outwardly evil, and that makes me kind of angry because if you're gonna be bad, then just be bad, okay? She might think she's doing it for the good of the people, but she's saying all this stuff that's definitely kind of bad, you know? We gotta take the dragon, like that's bad. She didn't produce the aura that she should have been producing. That was on Namari, but Namari was just being controlled by the mom. But you know, I guess Namari is like the main antagonist, but she's kind of not even like
I
a
if this
like a
had
main
if they
antagonist.
had gone that route and made Namari a puppet head, a figurehead or puppet for her mom, and her mom was the one who actually had like the evil plans. They even could have done an anti-colonialist thing with her because she was talking about how expansion was unsafe, but she wanted to do it because they were running out of the room. I heard that, I'm like, ooh, is the mom is she a colonizer in this movie? Do we have colonialism here? Like if Namari had gone against her mother's wishes and her mother still acted on those devious ideas, we would have a 10,000% better villain. But instead, we just got Namari, who I literally don't know why she's doing anything except to like maybe make her mom happy, but she doesn't even really seem to care about that.
Yeah, yeah, she really does. So she doesn't have any motivation, and there's just nothing. There's just nothing for the most part. You know, you can see that, you know, I don't even want to call Mario a villain. She's like okay, she's not an anti-hero. I guess she's a villain because she is trying to chase Namari and I guess try to kill her. I guess so. I guess that is bad. But man, I just did not like Namari as a villain. I didn't like the villains in this movie, honestly. I didn't like them.
I don't like Namari, and it's because nobody knows what to do with her. Because she's not a villain. She's not really an antagonist, because, like, she isn't really getting in the way of Raya's wishes, aside from the fact that she's getting the Dragon Stones. That's it. But arguably, that's for her mom. She's literally doing that because her mom is running the country. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody who online I hear is like, oh, they're rivals. I'm like, they are? I don't think they're rivals. I
They
don't think you know what a
they kind of
rival
are.
is. But like,
They
are
kind of
they?
are. They definitely have rival tendencies, right? Because like when they meet in with each other, they're like the, oh yeah, you know, I'm better than you and kind of stuff like that. Like when Raya kind of goaded her, like, oh, she couldn't beat me on her own. That's something like a rival would kind of say, right? It's definitely not how you would typically introduce rivals and or how you would show it, but they have rival tendencies. So if people said that, I would understand where they're coming from.
I would
But
like to hope
in the
that if
traditional
I
sense,
ever I
not
would
really.
like to hope that if I ever had a childhood friend who I gave them like a deep dark secret, and then like let's put it in layman's terms. I have a good friend who I tell a secret to, and they tell my secret to my entire third grade class. That person is not a rival. I hate that person.
That is that I mean
Like
that is true.
they set her up to be a villain, and then they're like, "Oh no, they're just friendly rivals." It's like I need either less or more. And I don't really
well,
care which one, but we can't start with that and then just fizzle out into nothingness.
so it's like in this movie,
It
like they're not. Oh no, go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's like they had a good idea in the beginning with Namari, and then like they lost the script, and where they were like, "Who's this character Namari? Oh, okay, we'll just make her this."
We'll just make her this. And you know what? That's it. Yeah. So like if we're talking about like rival, like in like the general sense, they're not rivals because they're not fighting for like the same. I mean, I guess they kind of are fighting for the same goal or position. They're just going about different ways, but not really. But they do have tendencies. So I'd lean on the fact that they're not really rivals. They're non-rivals with a bit of rival tendency. That's how I'll define that. Uh, but yeah, I don't think this gets a high score. This is out of 5. Wherever we rated Winnie the Pooh, that's where this goes.
So it's probably like
It
a
might
2, right?
I if we gave Winnie the Pooh a 2, then
No,
yeah,
I
it's
mean
a 2.
we probably gave Pooh a 1.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Yeah, then this would be a 2 then. Yes.
Because it
I was like,
doesn't have a villain, and then its villain it does have is just bad.
yes, 100%. Yeah, like the villains in this movie, not very, not very anything, honestly. So yeah. Animation and style. What you got?
I just wanted to see more of this movie. Like we got that tease in the beginning when the father was talking about Kumandra and about how lovely it was, and then we saw like the sweeping landscapes and the different areas, and then we got to them and it was the same like kind of sweeping landscape and the same area that we saw in the vision. I was like, wow, okay, well, I would have liked to have seen more of these characters. I also really don't like Sisu's design, like at all. um, I find her person head really distracting.
Hmm. Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the
Oh, oh.
movie's really pretty. I wanted to see more of it, and I don't like the second main character's design overall. It just looks
Okay.
really strange.
So I absolutely adored this animation. Like this was I I was like, whoa, they got it looking like this? I don't know,
Too
for
bad they
whatever
wasted all
reason.
the runtime in the desert.
They did not waste all the runtime in the desert, okay? They were in the desert for like 20 minutes. Probably screen time total. Movie was like 85 minutes. So, they definitely spent the movie elsewhere as well. But yeah, it was beautiful. I love the way this movie looked. I love the way they drew the people, or like, I guess not drew, but the way they animate the people. I thought they all looked great. I don't know why, but the dad struck me as particularly well done. I don't know why. I was like, wow, this is this is great. This is fantastic. As for like Raya herself, I thought the design of Raya was fine. I didn't have any problem with Raya. It's only when she opened her mouth that's when I had a problem. when she opened her mouth, that was the issue. It's okay to. He was a hot dad. I mean, he might have been hot. I was just talking about just like the facial, the facial features and how, I guess, accurate he would be to somebody who would be like that in real life. I don't know. He just looked really good and well done. His eyes weren't like too Disneyfied. They weren't like super huge and stuff like that. And I appreciate that definitely more. Um, yeah, I very much so loved like all the locations. I would have liked to see more though. I do get that feeling though, especially when we got to the what's it called, the city wherever with all the thieves. I would have loved to see more of that place. That place could have been really really like great. But what they did show was all okay. All right. Okay. Okay, he's hot. All right, you caught me, Adam. Oh no, he's hot. um but yeah, it was beautiful. It was absolutely gorgeous. I really don't have any qualms with any of the animation, honestly. It was pretty much perfect to me. This is about what I would expect for this. So for me, I feel like this is a 5 for me. I feel like this is just new age Disney like 5 style.
I don't know if
Be straight down
I
my type.
I think I'd do a 4, and it's just because I really don't like Aquafina Dragon's design. And also, for some reason, when she talked, it felt like her lips were too large for her face. And I I don't know why, but every single time she spoke, I was like, did they like just miss this one section of animation? Because nobody else looks weird when they speak, but she does. It's like I don't know if they were trying to capture the fact that she's been dormant forever and doesn't know how to speak, but she seems to still speak okay. but it was just the way the animation looked on specifically her mouth when she was speaking as a human.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really distracting.
It definitely was a little off-putting, honestly. But yeah, I can agree with the four though. Because I can definitely see where you're coming from with like the dragon look. I took off a few points in Atlantis when we were talking about the drill guy. I did not like the mole like at all. I definitely took away points for him in one of these categories. So yeah, I can get that. I can get behind that honestly. Yeah, a four is good.
I think that, to Adam's point, that it's not as beautiful as some of their other modern projects, I do agree with that, and I think it's just because they don't take advantage of their setting. I think other things really, like Moana, they were like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a girl traversing multiple islands. We're going to go with island and tropics and things like that. Frozen 2, they went with, okay, here's a spooky enchanted forest. We're going to go with spooky enchanted forest. Encanto made every single room in that house look important and beautiful. And this is like they just didn't give enough screen time to certain areas of the movie that really deserved it. I would have loved to have seen more of this continent. I really would have loved for this movie to have been a TV show. They would have warranted all of the strange segmentation and all the rich lore that they seem to have forgotten about the entire time.
Hey, hey, you know what? I would have loved to see more too. As a TV show, I'd have to think about that more, but I mean, it sounds like it'd be cool, honestly. Yeah. Voice cast, voice acting. Honestly, I think everybody was good until we until we looked at Sifu. I don't know what I was expecting, but that wasn't it, and it made me angry. Almost the entire movie. At the end, she definitely toned down so it was more bearable. But God, did I not like Sifu's voice actor. That was not the right casting. And she was in so much of the movie. Oh, she was in so much of the movie, and I was just like, please. But everybody else was fine. Um, Unfortunately, there was no standout that I would have liked. There was really no standout, like at all, actually. If there was a standout, it would be Seafood, and it would be a bad standout. But everybody else sounded fine. They sounded just like normal people. There wasn't anything like exaggerated. If only the baby could talk, maybe I would give them, an outstanding performance. But unfortunately, they don't. So I can't. But everybody did fine except Aquafina. So now I struggle with the score. But what are you thinking?
I think that everybody does perfectly fine. Like you said, there isn't really a super big standout. But yeah, I also couldn't stand Aquafina. Um,
Just couldn't do it.
there was a very interesting thought process that I had, and I was watching this movie, and I remember telling Adam, and I said, "This feels really juvenile. Like the jokes in it felt very, very like lowbrow." And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, when was the last time that they cast a comedian to be like the comedic side character who's just playing a comedian? And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, so there was Mushu and there's Genie. That's the main one that comes to mind. But
Yeah.
Genie was a very interesting thing in that, like, the humor that he was doing off the cuff was for adults, and the humor that Aquafina is doing off the cuff is definitely for children. And I think it was
Yes.
really jarring because the story of Raya, while very simple, could be very grounded. It's talking about, if it got its message across correctly about trust, a very adult thing about mistrust and not trusting the people and giving your trust to people and then having them betray it. Those are all like very mature adult things to talk about because, a lot of times with kids media, you don't really talk about the negative side effects of things. Well, this movie definitely addresses it. Raya's been hurt by distrust in the past and it shows. And I think that Aquafina doing this type of humor has no place in this movie whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. And I admittedly don't know enough about Mushu and Mulan to make a case for him. I know that a lot of the jokes are like generic Chinese stereotypes. Uh, But Raya seems to exist in its own specific universe of Kumandra. It's a continent, they have a history and all that. And the anachronistic jokes that Aquafina made in that one section where she came to life and she started talking about group projects and not turning in all the work, and I just was like, "Oh no. Oh no, they're doing
Yeah,
this."
yeah.
And
I also thought that. Yep.
it went over my head and I'm like, "I'm done. If this is going to be the movie, every time Aquafina opens her mouth, I'm not going to listen." And I didn't. And I think that it is just I don't even know if it's a miscast or if it's just a misdecision, because she's definitely
It was
written that.
definitely a miscast.
But
Not.
here's the thing. I don't think it is a miscast. I think it's a mischaracter direction, because they could have just made her not a comedian. I think they inherently made her silly on purpose, because she kind of was like, "Oh, I didn't really know
Ah.
what I was doing. Haha, I just kind of winged it and everything." And then the jokes kind of came as like an afterthought. I think they either made the character for her or they wrote the character for her, which is that's what they did with the genie. They made him with the intention of Robin Williams playing him and then just kind of let him ad-lib some of the lines. I wonder at what stage Aquafina was involved. Did they make did they make Sisu to be a funny comedy dragon, or did they decide to make her a funny comedy dragon? Because either way, it missed and has no place in this movie, and it's really
You,
distracting.
you know, the crazy part is I don't actually think like inherently like having Raya be like a comedic force is bad. Like I think it could have been. I just don't think Aquafina was the one to do it. Oh my god. Oh, that scared the mess out of me. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. Oh, yo, what's good, Cogs? Yo, thank you for the resub, my guy. I appreciate it. The alert box was so loud and it scared me so much that I was not ready for it at all. Hopefully, you guys at home did not get absolutely destroyed by that. And yo, I'm doing good. We're finishing up our Disney tier list. We're talking about how Aquafina was. I think Aquafina was poorly cast for this. I think that Raya could have been a funny dragon, but I just don't think this was the direction. It was definitely a miss. But yeah, everybody else did fine. So I struggle with the voice acting for this, because I wanna say a 3, right? But
I think a
Aquafina
3
was
is
in this
fair.
movie. All right, we'll just go ahead and give it a 3. I'll just go ahead and stop right there.
Unfortunately, I think Aquafina to Disney is going to be like what James Corden was for a little bit, where he was just the resident funny man, and she's just the resident funny lady, but she's also Asian, so she fulfills a quota. I think she's here to stick around for a while, because she's definitely been a lot of Disney projects.
Please don't do any more funny comedy stuff. At least make it to where the voice fits the character, because I don't think this was it. This was not it. So yeah. For how did it age? It's been a whole year. Uh, yeah. I mean, I don't really know how this is gonna age. If I'm being honest. I mean, okay. So if I'm looking at it from a visual standpoint, it's gonna age very nicely, because I think this style that Disney's in will just age well. Like, people will love to watch this visually. It is very adventurous. It has a lot of colors, so that's a lot of good stuff. There's no music, so people won't have that reason or need to go back to it. I feel like this might be a bit of a hard movie to remember, all things considered. Yeah, this movie might be hard to remember on that point. It does have, I think, a pretty decent message. Learn to trust others. Now, maybe they didn't show it the best way, but the mess of what they were trying to show was at least made sense. And I was like, okay, yeah, learn to trust people. I guess not everybody in the world is bad. Sure, I'm fine on that. Um, yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about the age. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's just like the main thing is that it doesn't have the music to be memorable. It's pretty, but I mean, all the movies from this era are just kind of pretty. And I think that its message is good, but you don't really see it too well. So I don't know if it's going to be a movie that people are going to go back to very frequently. Like, it
I
doesn't have a
definitely don't think
harmful
it will be.
message, but it's just like there's other Disney movies to just pick from. And it's also just one that I don't know if it fits the like just throw it on the background and don't pay attention kind of category either, because like it's trying to have substance, but it winds up not having substance. So it's like the illusion of it.
The illusion of it. I could go either way on this. Honestly, like a 3 sounds about right. But you
Yeah,
know, if somebody said a 4, I'd be like, yeah, I could see it.
I think a 3 is fine. It doesn't have a groundbreaking message, but it also doesn't have enough things to remember about it to make it be like the, oh yeah, you have to watch that one. Like
Yeah.
honestly, if somebody said, "Oh, I'm gonna watch Raya," I'm not gonna tell them like, "Oh, it was the worst movie I ever saw." But I'll be like, "Oh, you'll probably like it. You'll have a good time. You won't hate the hour and a half you spent watching the movie. Be perfectly fine." But nor
Yeah.
is I don't think if somebody was like, "Oh my god, Raya changed my life. It's my entire personality." I'm going to be like, "I don't want to talk to you ever again."
Oh my god. Okay. Sydney said, I don't want to associate with somebody like that at all. But yeah, it's not doing anything crazy. But we'll see in a few years. Maybe I'll have some cousins grow up and they'll be like, oh yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon was my favorite Disney movie. I'd be like, that's crazy. When Frozen exists, but that's okay. All right. So let's see what this scored. So we have 3, 6, 10, 12, 17, 17, 22. 22 plus 7 is 29. So this gets a healthy 29. 29 points. All right. So Sydney, let's place these last. Okay, well, first, do we want to rearrange everything first so we can actually get like a good base really quickly? Or do we just want to just place them and then rearrange them? I mean, it's more, it doesn't matter.
I think we should place the new things and then rearrange the things that are in the wrong place. Because I think it would just be
Okay.
for comedic effect at that point.
Okay. So let's see. So if we're doing the Little Mermaid, if we're going by our scale, Little Mermaid goes in S tier. if we're going by our current scale, and Raya goes in C tier, right? I think so.
Yes.
Does that sound about right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so now let's actually. So this is for all you guys out there too. You can see what me and Sydney placed some of these movies and what actually happened. So in oh wait, let me do this really quickly while I have it up. We're gonna what the why can I not zoom this out? What's happening? Okay. So see Raya and the Last Dragon that goes into C tier. Boop. With 29 points, and that is C. And then we had Little Mermaid. Yeah, that's going right over here into S tier with 43 points. So, when me and City first started this out, we had a pretty consistent way to go, I think. Then we lost the scores. I was looking at our VOD, Sydney, and I saw where we either you had a list or I had a list, or maybe we're taking two separate lists, and we were using that. And then something happened to it. It was lost, and we started going off feel. And some of our feels we're wrong.
I
Let's take.
remember I remember what happened because it had happened with the original document that I was putting like my type ups on. And it was that when I think you shared to me or I shared to you, I lost custody of those documents. And it was just like I had no access to anything after that.
I just couldn't even find the document. I just legit could not. I was like, I have no idea. Maybe I accidentally deleted it from my Google Drive. Maybe that's the most likely thing. But what's funny is when we started going off feel, somehow Tangled with a score of 40 ended up above The Hunchback of Notre Dame and A Goofy Movie. But it still made the S tier, baby. You know what it is. A few of these movies did it. So I was talking with you before, Sydney. I said, okay, I think a lot of these movies in S tier have to come down. They just have to. So then our real question is, where do we want to be? Where do we want our cutoff to be? We could make
Well,
it Hercules. Oh yeah, go on.
well, I pose an opposite question.
Yes.
You just make an S plus tier.
Ooh, and that's plus tier. Hmm.
And you have it start right at Hercules because that's the first movie above a 45. And it keeps
If
the
we
numbers nice and even.
if we do an S plus tier, honestly, there should probably just be two, or it should be like Lilo and Stitch and Lion King. Honestly, those will probably be the only two movies in the S plus tier.
Okay.
And then we would still probably move a few down to A tier, to be honest.
Okay, so then let's go off of math. What is that? Mean? No, median. Yeah, median. So what's the highest thing in regular S tier and what's the lowest thing?
So if we're going by our normal numbers, like 50 is the highest, but we
Yep.
have a 40 at the bottom of S tier.
Okay.
But that probably shouldn't be the case. Like, let's see. If we are doing this, I'd probably say the cutoff is probably Aladdin. Aladdin.
Does that also count for Encanto because they're the same score?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. honestly, honestly, probably Wreck It Ralph down.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah. So this would mean all these go to A tier. they just swiftly move over. And honestly, if we really wanted to, some of these movies at the end of A tier, they're looking kind of sus. Some of those
So
may need to be.
so what's the end of A tier currently?
So the end of A tier, like before we move S tier.
Yeah.
So the end of A tier is currently Zootopia and Frozen with a 39 and a 37.
Okay.
10 point tier. So what? So you're saying so? But they're at 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh,
That's what I thought we were doing.
that works. That's not what I was doing. I wouldn't even think about that. But yeah, that works. Sure. So then that would mean. Wait a second. Well, how does that work if we have like a 50? So that, yeah, then that would mean that we would have to create a new tier for 50, right? Am I crazy? Am I dumb?
So hold on. Let me do some mental math.
So let's see, because if it's out of 50, right? This would be 50s. This will be 40s. This will be 30s. This will be 20s. This will be 10s. Which would make sense. Or you could make an F tier. All right, I'll ask you, Sydney. Do you think we have a case for maybe two movies in F tier?
Potentially. I will happily throw, at the very least, Ralph Breaks the Internet into F tier. because that movie just shouldn't exist.
If we throw Ralph Breaks the Internet into F tier, then we have to throw all of D tier just into F tier. Because Ralph Breaks the Internet was our highest ranking one in D tier. Surprisingly enough.
Well, that should go into F just for defamation of character.
For defamation of character, honestly. So if we're making F tier, that means some of these C tier movies are going down to D tier.
That
Uh,
is how tier lists work.
yeah. And I can tell you right now, Winnie the Pooh ain't looking good at that point. Dinosaur somehow makes it out into C tier if we do that. Is that the world you want to live in, Sydney? Is that truly
No.
the world you would like?
No, but
Yeah,
it's because
yeah.
I know that Winnie the Pooh in my heart is not a 25.
In your heart of hearts, I get that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's
Maybe
create
when we
let's
start
create
moving stuff, it'll make more sense. But as I like my brain is trying to figure out what you're talking about, and it's just not. It's not getting better.
Okay. All right, let's do this. We're gonna go ahead and just do it like this. We're gonna move these movies over into A tier. So Wreck-It Ralph and all the from Wreck-It Ralph all the way to like the bottom of what we scored is now going down into the A tier.
Oh wait,
And
you can
so
just sort everything by. Yeah, can't you like highlight and then sort everything in the Excel file in order of number?
I mean I might be able to, but I have no idea how to do that.
I could just like click
I
it.
you just you just do this like this?
No, like okay, I'm gonna attempt to explain it. Yeah, highlight it, and then I think it's a right
Yeah.
click option.
Yeah, right click and then what? There's
It
randomize,
might be
there's
because it's
sort.
technically two different things. Oh, sort range? It's one of
Yeah,
the
I saw.
sorts.
Yeah, I saw it, but I wouldn't even know what to do. So I'll just do it manually. It's fine. It's fine. I can just I can just change all of them
It's
with my
not too
with
many
my
numbers.
bear. Yeah. So let's see. So the top of A tier is gonna be Wreck-It Ralph because that has the highest score that of this tier. We're gonna move this down. We're gonna move these up. Let's see. Then we have obviously the Hunchback of Notre Dame. That goes right there. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I forgot about the Little Mermaid, which is an A tier movie. Then we do this. Then we do this. No, I didn't move it. I need to move it down one more. Why? Why am I so inept at Excel? All right, boom. There we go. All right, so here's our new A tier. But honestly, oh, whoops, I messed that up. But honestly, I think Princess and the Frog should be moved up to A tier, and Zootopia and Frozen should be moved down to B tier. Or
Okay,
we
and
can make
make
the cut.
40
Or
the end cap.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
I'm
Princess and the
sorry, I didn't
Frog
want.
also literally has the same score as Tangled.
Does it actually?
Yeah, they're both 40.
Oh, I'm dumb. You said score, and my mind immediately went to music. I was like, what? They have the same score? Like, you mean like composer? I was so confused. But yeah, exactly. Yep. So here is our A tier, which I feel like is a fair A tier. All right, so then let's see. So everything in B tier. I think all this makes sense. Yeah. And then let's see. Yep. Everything here in C tier. Yep, all that makes sense. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's all already in order. Boom. Look at that. So here are our tiers now. Tangle got scammed. What do you mean? They didn't get scammed. It's in the S tier. I mean the A tier. What do you mean? That's not a scam. How is that a scam? Both 40s, but y'all felt a whole tier difference. Okay, no, Greg. So what we did before, we just weren't consistent. We just forgot. And you know what? It was fine. It was fine. Yeah. So everything else stays as is, right? That looks all good, right? Or do
Yeah.
you have any comments?
No, that looks good to me.
All right, because if you want to create an F tier for Ralph Breaks the Internet, you know what? I'll do it for Ralph. We'll call it Ralph tier. All right, so let's see. So I put everything in order, so that means that from Wreck-It Ralph down, they just get sucked down. No, not the Emperor's New Groove. No. It should have stayed in S tier. But whatever. I get it. Beauty and the Beast. Oh, let's go. Tarzan made it. Let's go. Okay, is that all of them? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 6, 6. Then we have these. So Wreck-It Ralph goes to the top. Then we have Aladdin. Then we have Encanto. Encanto was such a good movie.
I'll certainly watch it more than Raya.
Oh, absolutely! Like, what the freak? Yeah, of course. What was that even a question? No. Okay, no. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is under the Little Mermaid. Then we have The Emperor's New Groove, because obviously this is ordered. There's New Groove, Beauty and the Beast, Goofy Movie, Princess and the Frog, and Tangled. And these two get moved down. So at the top we have Zootopia. Then we have Atlantis beating out Frozen. Let's go, us. Let's go. Atlantis better than Frozen, literally confirmed. Okay, then we have Meet the Robinsons. Raya is not there. Dinosaur beat Raya. Maybe. Oh no, never mind.
They got the same
It's the same
score.
Yeah, it's the same score. All right. Raya gets to live another day, I guess. We'll put Raya at the top. Sure, it's fine. Okay, let's see. Then we got Big Hero 6, Bolt, Winnie the Pooh, Home on the Range, and yep. Everything looks like it's in order. So Sydney, how are you feeling about our tier list that we cultivated over many weeks together, you and I?
I think it's pretty good. There are definitely some injustices, but I digress.
There might be a few injustices. If we ever need to do a revamp, we could just do like a quick fire of our scores one day and be like, you know what, this should be changed, this should be changed, this should be changed, so we can create our feelings tier list. But yeah, I think this is it, Sydney. I think our journey has finally come to an end. And it's been a really fun journey. I super duper appreciate you for coming on consistently every single week and talk about these movies with me. It's been great watching all these movies, and you've been great to do this with. It's been super duper fun, honestly.
I'll probably go back and watch some of the older Disney movies. I've been liking just having them on in the background when doing stuff throughout the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I definitely had some of these on the background, mostly the ones that I've seen before, but yeah, super duper fun. All right. Any last thoughts before we end our Disney chapter, Sydney?
Justice for Winnie the Pooh.
No justice for Winnie the Pooh. It stays down where it belongs. Thank you so much for
in my heart.
It's also S tier on the chat tier list too, so
that's my doing.
That works. Thank you so much for being on, Sydney. I super duper appreciate it. Yeah.
Of
That's
course,
all.
happy to be on. I gotta say, I'm a little relieved that we're done.
You're relieved?
I'm relieved just because I feel like
Yeah,
we've
kind of.
been like, it was just the break. If that break hadn't happened, it would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
this has been such a journey.
We literally started what, January, February?
Something like that.
I can't remember, but it was a it was a long time. But you know what? I still enjoyed the journey. You know, friendships were tested. You know, first it was dinosaur, then it was then it was Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. Friendship tested both ways. That's still so funny that I was the dinosaur apologist, literally out of nowhere, not even expecting it. But you know what? It's okay. Dinosaur deserved better.
I'll always go to bat for Pooh. They're my comfort movies.
Well, just knowing the chat tier list, which we're about to go over right now, that's where they will remain. But thank you so much for being on, Sydney. See you in the chat for the chat tier list, and yeah,
Of
that's
course.
it.
I will see ya. And I will not be here next Monday.
Hey, yeah, because we're gonna replace this with something else that I will
Woo!
announce.
I'm being replaced.
Yes, yes, you are being replaced, but by who? Find out momentarily after chat's tier list, which is right here. So this
Bye.
later. So this is what you guys have put up so far for your tier list, and now it's finally time to end it. Are you guys ready to make your final placements? And then if you guys do have like any like other thoughts on things that should be somewhere else, let me know and we can see if we can put them somewhere else. But let's see. Well, for this one, we will do the Little Mermaid. Let's see. S A B C. Oops. 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 B C D. Start poll. Where is the Little Mermaid going, everybody? This is it. This is what you guys have been waiting for. Where are we putting the Little Mermaid? Oh, what? Oh, man. Oh, Adam. Adam, you're really a Little Mermaid fan. Okay, okay, okay. I actually would not have expected that. Nostalgia. I mean, nostalgia is a very powerful thing. Nostalgia will grab you by the throat and it will not let go. It makes it very hard to rate things objectively sometimes, unless you're me and Sydney, and we do it objectively all the time. In our heart of hearts, we know what's right, of course. All right, so we're thinking A tier. All right, chat. All right, I like where your head's at. I like where your head's at. I agree. I agree with your decision. Yeah, there we go. And we're just gonna put it right here. Boom, right there. And then finally, Raya. Boom. Where is Raya going? All right, guys. I know what you just saw from me and Sydney, but I think we can all agree that, it doesn't have to be this way. Wait, what? It doesn't have to be this way. All right. Adam doesn't have to be the deciding factor for this thing. All right. Oh wait. Oh, I did not. Oh, okay. Oh, thank God. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, you know what? At least you guys didn't say D, and I guess that's all I can really all I can really hope for, to be honest. It not being a D tier movie. I mean, if I was putting it somewhere, I would put it at least B tier, because I feel like this is a B tier movie at worst. At best, if you put it in A tier, I wouldn't agree with you, but I can see where you're kind of coming from. I would agree with you though. B tier, I feel. But all right, I guess these two are the only ones who've seen this movie. All right. C tier. Probably top C. You guys probably watched it over anything else though. Maybe except Brother Bear. Brother Bear was a sleeper hit. But all right, here is your chat tier list. Do you got let me finish this. Okay. Do you guys have any qualms with your tier list? Do you guys think something should be higher or lower on your tier list? Because this is what you chose. This is what you all chose. So if not, then forever hold your peace. Forever. Ralph 2 FT. Ralph 2 F tier, huh? You know what, Adam? For you? Oh, what? For you, Adam? I got you. Oh wait, sorry. I didn't make the color correct. There we go. For you guys, there is your true F tier. Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph. I can't believe Ralph 2 is worse than Ralph. Hey, I can't believe it. I can't believe it either. But Adam says yes. He believes. Greg believes too. Yeah, Ralph is worse than racism. 100%. Hey, you know what? I ain't gonna knock it. You know, I'm just glad you guys didn't say dinosaur. If you guys said dinosaur, maybe I would have felt bad, but that's okay. All right. Well, guys, that was the end of the Disney tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed hanging out with my friend Sydney as we talk about our Disney movies and have our disagreements, but also our love for the Disney movie and stuff like that. It was a great time regardless. I had a super fun time. I'm glad she was able to be on. And so now that means we have an open slot. And you know, I was kind of thinking, what kind of tier list would I like to do next? And I thought, and I finally came up with something that I think makes the most sense. And that thing is, hold on. Oh no, I'm fumbling the bag. Don't worry. We're figuring it out. Oh no, I'm fumbling. Okay, here we go. And that is Kingdom Hearts! Can you believe it? Me and Kennedy will be doing a Kingdom Hearts tier list. We will be ranking all of the Kingdom Hearts games. Yeah, it's just actually all of them. Kennedy has played all of the games, as have I. There is one that we need to play, but we will get to that. And it's going to be a great time. And it's gonna be a bit of a fun tier list, honestly. I think you guys will like what we done with the tier list. Even don't worry, there likely won't be a chat option. It's smart. Even the spin-offs. So all of the Kingdom Hearts games that are integral to the story are what we are doing. And as you know, they are all integral at some point to the story. So yes, we will be doing all of the Kingdom Hearts games, not just 1, 2, and 3. Literally all of them. So yeah, it's gonna be super fun. Me and Kennedy are gonna do it. Hopefully you guys stick around for it. This is something that I wanted to do personally because I very much so love this series. But it's flaws, and it'll be great to talk about it with somebody who can, you know, give that hard criticism. Hey, yo, Gooch Canoes. Yo, appreciate the follow, my guy. Thank you so much. Yeah, you just came in for the perfect time for our Kingdom Hearts tier list announcement, which we are doing next week on Monday. I think Monday. I'll have to talk with Kennedy, but I think it's Monday. We'll see about that. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing. So yes, thank you all for being here for the last tier list. It was super duper fun. Hope to see you guys next week for the next tier list. Tomorrow, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Then after that, more Celeste. Yeah, that's all. Thank you guys for being here again for a little bit later. I know I started later, but I will fulfill my 3 hours as promised. So I will talk with you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. EST. Hey, what up, Gooch? You caught me right at the end. Yo, I'm peacing out, dog. Catch me tomorrow at 6 p.m. CST. You know what it is. Good night, everybody.